3, 2. Oh my God.
Yo, what's up?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the program.
Shout out to Airtime, y'all podcast.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. We have one of my favorite filmmakers of all time in the booth. Definitely somebody when snowboarding was looking and feeling so similar in so many projects. This individual, who was probably mentored by some of the greats, started making some really incredible films in the mid 2000s, around 2007 to 2008. At least that kind of came on the map. You might recognize such films as BOZWRECK, Given, Brown, Absinthe, Adidas, Sims, tons of projects. We have the one and only Brock Nielsen on the show, aka Butters. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Jody. Thank you for the kind words.
Hell yeah, dude. You deserve them.
Thank you.
Are you getting to a point in your life where you pat yourself on the back for what you've done, or still hard on yourself?
Yeah, I think there's times when I could be, give myself a better pat or give myself the flowers more. But no, I'm very stoked on what I've done in the snowboard world. And I don't know, just being able to do like this line of work as a life is just, it's insane, like we're very fortunate. And yeah, it's just a wild ride, and very happy with where I'm at today.
I mean, yeah, the immense gratitude I have for individuals behind the scenes like yourself, whether you're working at a magazine, a photographer, a filmer, a good team manager, like those individuals make up like the fucking fiber of snowboarding to me. And you being, somebody on the back end a little bit and who has put and dedicated so many hours, and sometimes those hours don't really get probably noticed, you know what I mean? As somebody who's a huge fan of your films, and we'll dive into a bunch, we'll kind of go through some chapters in a bit, but the attention to detail and your eye is something that snowboarding's lucky to have.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you. I don't really know how to respond more so than that. I appreciate the kind words.
So right now you're posted up in Whistler. It's an absolute monsoon happening right now.
It's
the
insane.
snowpack is getting obliterated as we speak. Where are you posted up?
Shout out to Mark McMorris. I am at Mark's house right now. Thank you for being a gracious host and having me while you're not even there. But yeah, I am at Mark's house and just living the Whist lifestyle.
What's your relationship to Mark?
I've never met Mark.
That's so sick.
I'm out here with like Blake, and Nick. And Blake, we were coming from Baker because the snow turned to shit there. And so Blake was like, oh yeah, I think we can maybe stay at Mark. So we hit him up and we're staying there. And then the, 2 sunny windows days happens. We film, we're done. Blake's like, I'm going to go to LA while the weather's shit. And I was like, can I get Mark's contact? Like, I would like to see if I could maybe stay here or pay and whatever. But yeah, I hit up Mark and he was just very down and gracious. And yeah, cleaned up his whole house, like buttered it up. So I hope, yeah, just trying to be a good good guest.
We all appreciate a good guest on here. Everybody who's listening has had somebody come over and sleep on the couch or something, and they did a shitty job at staying over.
Yeah.
That's clutch. Shout out to Mark Mick, though, for
Yes.
obviously close friends with Blake, has a bit of trust in Blake's. If Blake's going to give you the green light, I'm sure Mark called him like, yo, is he chill? Is he going to like fucking throw a house party? And he's probably like, dude, he's like the chillest. Like, also sick that Mark, it's a little bit of giving back to the community, because what are you doing in town right now? Like, what are you filming for?
Yeah, filming for another like Brown project. It's a smaller one though. It's just kind of focused on Nick and Blake, and it just kind of stemmed from last year. We were doing some North Face stuff, and some things fell through with that. So we're kind of just carrying on footage from last year and just trying to make something short and sweet with a bunch of homies, but focused around Nick and Blake. So yeah, we're up here just filming.
So how has the film gone so far? You got a bit of footage from last year. You're going into this year. Has this year been challenging? Have they been stacking or?
No, it's been good overall with how the winter conditions have been, we've just been doing our best to follow the snow. They've been stacking. We got some really cool stuff. We were in Japan for a month, and Yeah, it'll be a very heavy Japan-based video, which I'm stoked on. Like the very first Brown video we ever did was just like all Japan, so it's kind of nice doing a little full circle there. But yeah, went to Japan, came back, and then we did a quick stint in Tahoe before. That was fun. We were with John Jay, and then yeah, just been up here in the Pacific Northwest, Whistler, Baker, and it's been awesome.
I don't want to skip over just John Jay there. I mean, as a super fan of John, was it fun to see John? Did John get some clips?
John got a clip. Yeah, he got a really sick clip. And yeah, John's the fucking man. Like when I got hired on to do Sims back in the day and John was on the roster, I was like, holy shit, I get to, hang out and film with John Jay. And it was sick. It was like we connected very well. And he pretty much like got me to level up my snowmobiling from like really quick. Cause like when we started Sims, that was my first year owning a snowmobile.
And you're thrown in the ring with John Jay.
Yeah. So many times I'd have to just be like, is it chill? Is it chill? He's like, yeah, just follow me. Just follow me. And then I'd be like, dude, what the fuck? Like he has a great video of me freaking out. Like throwing my helmet, just so pissed because he took us into like fucking crazy zone that I just couldn't handle at that point. But no, it was good. I credit John for me like getting really good at snowmobiling. And he's just the shit. He's like one of the best humans ever, and just a beautiful human.
Yeah. Well said. And if we rewind the tape a little bit here, before we kind of derailed here, sidebarred on John Jay, which I'm glad we did because it's always nice to give John his flowers whenever we can, because he's getting older, and I feel like a lot of older legends sometimes like they wonder if their impact is still like relevant, and it's so nice to let John know that like he's always gonna be like he's one of the greats. You know what I mean?
He
like
is.
Undeniably, like
Without a doubt.
Like sometimes I put in perspective just how many video parts he's filmed, and I'm like, dude, he's still going, and he's been filming like legit parts in Mammoth since like 97, 98. You know what I mean? That were standout for a fucking pipe kid back then, and it's 28 years later, and John's footage is still some of the best coming out, if not the best sometimes. Like the half cab and ollie when he's like, there's a bunch of those old growth trees all over the place, and he's like got his GoPro and just going John Jay mode. I'm like, dude, this guy's the dog still.
He is. No, his flow is sick. I love John.
So yeah, Japan. How many years have you gone to Japan?
I mean, first trip I went on was an Absinthe trip for ever since, and that was, I think that was 2014.
Something like that. I think 2012 maybe.
Yeah, maybe a little earlier, but since then, I've gone pretty much every year, and some of those years I had gone twice. Like came home, went back again. So yeah, I've been going there quite a bit. I tried to recount actually this morning. I was like, have I been there 15? But because I told you that last night. I think I'm more at like 12 or something, but still a good amount over in Japan.
What drags you back? Like if you're going back 12 times, it's not because every time you're flying home, you're like, I'm not going fucking back.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of it is just our work, like snow is always good there. You can always count on it on getting something. And, but also it's just one of my favorite places to be. There and like Switzerland are just very magical places to indulge in and like snowboard in and just check out.
Who would be a favorite rider or a top rider that you feel their snowboarding pairs well with Japan and its terrain?
Growing up, always watching like Nico and Gigi there in the Absinthe Viz, I'd always be like, God damn, I'm so sick. And then like Keegan, honestly, like I think Keegan's really good at Japan terrain, and everything I've shot of him there has always just been really good, whether it's in the streets or the powder.
Did your opportunity to go with Absinthe come from Keegan? Did it come from Hosnick? Did it come from Adidas? Like
no, so it's actually this. You probably don't even know this guy, but in BOZWRECK, so LJ, he was the one who made the very first BOZWRECK. He was the manager at Milo Sport.
Damn.
And just best friends with Nate and Matty. They started BOZWRECK 1. And during that time, I had picked up a camera, was in Milo Sport a lot, was like started to film Kill. I started to work at Milo eventually, and then LJ asked if we could give some footage towards the BOZWRECK stuff, because there was a promo in between 1 and 2 that came out that had some like Kill footage and Keegan clips, but like that was like the first shit I'd ever given to something. And then just worked with LJ a bunch, and then he started inviting me out on the BOZWRECK 2 filming year. Like I would just go out anytime I could with like in between school, because I was in high school at that point. I was a senior. Yeah, I was a senior that year in high school. So was just going out in between school, and then LJ was rooming with Shane Charlebois. He was roommates with him. And LJ also like gave footage to Absinthe stuff. So like just kind of through the BOZWRECK like Absinthe connection at that time, it just like led me into that. And then eventually Shane and Hosnick asked if I wanted to like start helping film them. And that was after BOZWRECK 3. So like 2010, I think I started filming with Absinthe.
Okay, and if we flip back a couple chapters here, you mentioned Milo there picking up a camera. I spoke to a couple of your friends, Taxwood last night,
Nice,
and a couple others, and they all kind of brought it back to the Guthrie skate park days. Maybe touch on those days and how that shaped you to even start your whole chapter in filmmaking, and maybe even like the very fabric that is you. I'm sure those younger years at a skate park with like close friends sometimes they're more impactful than we even realize.
Oh yeah, no, it was huge. Like my whole community came from like that skate park pretty much, because I got super into skating and snowboarding at like 12, 13. And then when I really started watching the videos at like 15 and paying attention to them, and then like I just got so enticed. I was like, I want to start making this shit, I'd always been super into films. Like when I was younger, I wanted to be an actor and shit. And then like gave that up. I was like, oh, maybe I'd rather like create the films, And so I got a camera. My friend Nick actually pitched some money towards it. Kind of just we all saved up and got a camera, and then just started filming skating like at the skate park. Like very first edit I ever made was at Guthrie skate park. I'd have to find it. It's so funny. But it's got like Brophy's in there, like Colin Brophy, this skater homie. Like,
I know the name.
Yeah, Kel, Little Jeff, like
Jeff
Trevor.
Richards.
Yeah, Jeff Richards.
He's a ripping skater.
Oh, so good. Yeah.
And snowboarder.
Oh yeah,
that front three he posted the other day was banging.
Super
no grab.
Sick. Yeah, Hefe's the fucking man. But I mean, Guthrie and just filming and skateboarding, just the classic. It just creates that like amazing community where you can just, I don't know, be free and do whatever the fuck you want. And go ahead.
More like before that skate park, and meeting all those individuals that make up the DNA of that skate park, was that the first time you got like wide-eyed to this world, or were you already exposed to like this creative side of you? Because a lot of people, that's the first time they kind of open that door, is when they go to the skate park and they're like, fuck, that might be kind of my thing or something that I'm into.
Yeah. Well, like I grew up playing baseball. Like my family's big sports family. My dad played for the Yankees for a bit. So like just grew up on baseball.
Damn.
Like, our whole family is baseball.
Like the New York Yankees.
Yeah, the New York Yankees. He was a pitcher for them for 2 seasons, and then a season with the White Sox from like 87 to 91.
Okay, in case there's some real old heads, which we do have some listening to this, what's the full name of your dad?
His name is Scott Nielsen.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. But he was a pitcher, then blew his shoulder out, and that ended. But so baseball, sports was always big. And then, what got me hooked was like Johnny Soon. Like I watched Disney movies all the time. So I watched Brink and I started rollerblading. And then I saw Johnny Tsunami. I was like, I want to start snowboarding. And around the same time, this neighbor kid moved in and he was a skater. And I saw that and I was like, I want to start skating too. So I like started skating, snowboarding around the same time. And
who was a standout at Guthrie skate park? Like You know, I love asking this question because in case they're listening or whatever, it's kind of sick to get like the local Ripper's name. I don't know why. To me, it's fascinating.
Like the local outside of the homies.
Well, just the guy that was kind of the dog, the someone who's like hard flipping the double there or whatever, you know, and you're like, who is this guy?
Honestly, back when I was a little kid, his name was Chuck. Charles, I can't remember his last name right now, but he was just unreal. Like, would skate the drop, nollie back 180, nollie 80, like just so easy and casual. Like, it's like a 6-foot drop with a gap, you know, but just had such sick flow. And then the Guth locals will know Jabin. I think Jabin's his name, dude. He was this insane, like, I don't know, just he was in his own world and in his own lane, but just like the bowl guy, and would do these crazy bowl maneuvers, like really engaged a lot with the kids. He was a little older too, so it was just always kind of this weird dynamic. But Jabin's also like the local OG Guth, like Ripper.
He's like the dog.
He's the dog. Like, you would see him there anytime you went. He was there all the fucking time. But
I live for the local guy like that. Like, I go home still to my like home park,
Yeah.
like snowboard park, and it's always the same. There's a couple people that just are there every weekend, and you're like, it honestly wouldn't be the same without those people. You're like,
No.
I hope that dude's there. When it almost like when those people stop showing up, you're like, damn, end of an era. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I did go back to Guth like, I don't know, a year and a half ago. I don't go there as much anymore, but there were still some OG heads there. Like, guys that were older than me when I was younger, and I was like, damn, these guys are still here.
And they don't recognize you because they knew you from like
They might, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that was like our peak. Like, I mean, I was there from 12 to like 20, you know, like just at that park a lot.
okay, because I know that you're a good skater. I know that maybe like saying a great skater to some people that are like friends with pro skaters, you know what I mean? But let's get like, to you, what was the peak or the highlight like skate moment that you've ever pulled off? Like maybe like a trick or something that you're like, damn, if I look back and I did a nollie heel flip back tail big spin down this like hubba, it was crazy.
Yeah, no, there was a couple years I was working with my friend Joey. He's Joey Sandoval. He's a Salt Lake local, amazing filmmaker, like has made Call It Venting skate videos. I don't know if you've ever seen those, but really great videos. And at the time I was working on my videos, so we would go out with each other and just film each other, because he was also a skater too, and he like loved to try and get tricks. And I'd never try and film, so I like set, you know, an intention to film a part for his video. And there was this one trick I really want to do is just like back 50, no comply to switch 50 on this like tall loading dock ledge. And that was just a really euphoric moment, you know, when you actually land it and make, you're like, holy shit, I've never, and it was actually a cool experience for me because it let me understand more so of like the rider aspect of it, you know, and the everything that goes along with it. Cause I was like, this fucking sucks, you know, like when you have something envisioned in your head and like you can't execute it and you have to go back, or it just doesn't work out. Like, there's just so many different variables to it. So it was cool for me to kind of be on that side of the lens and like understand, or just have a better understanding of like what the riders are like going through and trying to do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the mental clock, and to share that just so that, you know, when a rider's like, dude, we got to go back tomorrow, I need this clip, you're like a little bit like, I get that. Or if they get the clip and they're coming over to you and it's like to share that with them because they're genuinely that hyped, you know what I mean? Like, they come up and you both know that they got it and you filmed it proper and they did it exactly the way that they wanted to. You're kind of like, it's an experience that only people who are in this like world know about. You know what I mean? Like, to share that to like, or as like a group, you know what I mean? You're at a spot and your homies like tees up this fucking lip slide on this like gnarly ass kink, and the homies are in the landing and the photographer got it and the fisheye filmer got it, and it's just like you all run to the bottom and it's like order a pizza and have a beer dripping in sweat, because like dude, some of those clips you end up going to war for them, so you kind of like build a bit of a community through that.
Yeah, that group like energetic high that you all get is really, it's exciting, it's fun.
What would you say, you know, on a scale from like 1 to 10, how much influence did skating and skateboard filmmaking have on your snowboarding filming? Like, did you drag a lot of that inspiration over, or were you?
For sure. I mean, I took inspiration just from a lot of things. Like, even regular movies would excite me if I just saw how they like filmed a shot or the titles or like sound certain songs they would use in like cinema movies. I would love that. But yeah, skating for sure. Like, first video I ever saw was This Is Skateboarding America. And then like, yeah, right, and stuff. So just like seeing the contrast and the differences of the two, like, yeah. I mean, skating's been huge for me. Like, Minefield was a big one for me as well, just at the age I was at when it came out. And I was also like indulging in psychedelics at that time, like kind of discovering that. And I would like watch a lot of films on mushrooms and like study them. It would kind of be like school for me a little bit, because I would like see it. Yeah, you just see how they like, I don't know, you could see like how they laid it out to the music in like this like perfectly deconstructed manner. And like watching like the Bruce movie or like anything that Brian Thomas has made, like if you watch any of his films, he's one of the best at editing and creating this like vibe and just like keeping you engaged, I think.
I mean, that's literally the hardest thing about being a filmmaker is in those sections that might be a bit slower paced or whatever. Because let's say if you're making a movie that's based around 8 individuals and then you got fucking 5 to 10 homies that are featured in it, how do you create a vibe around each one of those? And there is a way to do it even with cameos, you know what I mean? To find like, you know, there's, let's say someone's got a bit more of like a chill section, and in the song that you selected, you find that there's like one part of the song kind of drops and it starts playing the piano, and you're like, ooh, homie could be placed here really well.
Yeah.
And that timing is just like what makes somebody a good filmmaker or a great filmmaker. And me seeing all of your films come out and watch them live at a important part of my life, because I was like, I'm young. I was 25 when your videos started coming out. So I was like hyper focused on like just the riding aspect. But as I've gotten older, I like the storytelling. And I think I'm a lot more, as an editor myself to some extent now, I'm a lot more aware of how much time and energy goes into those minute details, and seeing it go from like a BOZWRECK, like, you know, your homie skate videos, all the way to, you know, what you just recently made with Brown, Knights of the Brown Table. You're like, whoa, like he's really transitioned into an incredible filmmaker. Like,
thank you.
And that's from like, probably like, do you think that you would be where you're at in filmmaking if that fascination over film wasn't kind of hardwired in you? Because if you're looking at like Disney movies and these things at like 12, 13, 14, and there's something about them that are intriguing if they use different titles and stuff, like that's pretty exciting to even pick up on that in a young age.
Yeah, I don't know. I always loved like films like Leonardo DiCaprio and Chris Farley were like my goats as a kid. You know, I was like,
Tommy boy.
Oh, it's the best. That was like a big movie that played all the time in my youth. And yeah, I don't know. I just like, even for birthdays as a young kid at like 8, I would ask for like soundtracks. Like I got a soundtrack to Con Air, that movie with Nicolas Cage. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but just like straight up like movies that are scored, you know, with like you know, the orchestra and shit. Like I was asking for that for my birthdays as a kid.
Damn.
So I don't know. I don't know where it came from or why, but yeah, I've just always been kind of like into, I guess I like things that can create just like make you feel something, you know, like just having it connect in any kind of way, whether it's good, bad, this or that. But I just like something that kind of makes you get sucked in and think, and like, I don't know I don't know where I'm going with that one. Should probably cut that, but
no way, dude. That makes you think. That's literally like, why are you watching in the day and age that we live in now, where everything is smashed in your face with content?
Yeah.
What I've realized that I want to do a bit more with airtime is I do want to keep it loose, but I do want to if you're telling somebody to come over here and watch this, and then it ends and it doesn't leave them with a feeling, like I personally don't like that. Like,
Yeah.
I like when I watch any film that like makes me feel like some sort of emotion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a way to do that as a filmmaker. I think since the birth of filmmaking, that's what it is. It's like you're trying to
invoke.
Yeah, and it's a
Like
great
invoke
word.
Emotions.
Invoke emotion.
Yeah. Trying to like, whether that's inspiration or like make you feel weird or like I don't know, just make you feel something. That's what like human nature is we feel. And so if you don't walk away with something like feeling something, then I don't know, I think it misses the target.
Do you have a couple films? Let's go one film or two films that are outside of snowboarding, skateboarding that invoked a feeling to you, and maybe a skate one and a snowboard one. Just a handful that like to you kind of pulled on some strings and you're like, that was kind of fucking, it kind of made me feel something, not just like, oh, I'm watching another video.
Yeah. I need my phone to look it up. I'm blanking it. Rob Rodriguez directed it. I can't remember. It's the one this girl has like a prosthetic leg and she like she gets a gun on it instead. It's like this crazy over the top gory type film, but it was just so sick. I can't remember the name of it.
You can grab your phone and look it up. Fucking do
it's-
it. The girl with no leg with gun on leg. Honestly, the movie already sounds super intriguing.
Yeah. Do you know Rob Rodriguez's films?
I mean, I know films more than I know filmmakers from like Hollywood films. Obviously, I know a couple like the goats. You know what I mean? But I don't pay attention as much as I do in snowboarding.
I don't. Yeah. Honestly, I don't either. Like, I kind of just stopped watching movies, like actual cinema movies, like the past 10 years because I don't know.
They've gotten so much worse.
They have,
Speaking of like no emotion, like the new movies just don't hit the same way that like late 80s, all the 90s movies do, and early 2000s even. Like there was so many classics in there that are just like undeniably insane.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. I mean, Death Proof is one of... Oh, here we go. Oh, dude, I don't know what it's called. Death Proof is one of them, but that's not the one with... Planet Terror.
Planet Terror.
Planet Terror and Death Proof. I really like those films. I thought they were just like so different and like so engaging. But I should actually watch them again. I haven't watched them in a long time. But I would have to say those is, I don't know, there's so many. Like honestly, for me, it's like humor movies, like Chris Farley, like Tommy Boy, Beverly Hills Ninja,
Black
Heavyweights,
Sheep.
Black Sheep. Like
Black Sheep was fire.
dude, I just love comedy. I love to have like real, just genuine laughter in stuff, and I don't know. So that's a part. I try and incorporate that in like my videos too, of just like the authentic humans that are with me, because they're all so funny in their own individual ways. So, but that's a really hard one to do, is to like keep your phone out or camera out all the time and be capturing those like special moments,
They're also hard to capture if you don't have a relationship with the riders, because the more comfortable a rider is with you, the more they'll let you into their like world. You know what I mean? And the more they act like themselves, which is then you get the real special moments as a filmer when you're allowed to be. You can get a bit more vulnerable with them and be like, you can just have the camera kind of rolling in the motel, and they're not putting on a show as much as they're genuinely being themselves. And when the show is great for, editing something and smashing it all together, but like there are moments in filming that you're like, watching somebody put on their boots day 3 of a rail trip, and you can kind of sense that they're like, on some fucking shit. Like I think there's some lifestyles that you filmed and have been, a lot of the films that you've been involved in. I'm saying involved because you weren't necessarily like the primary filmer in those younger ages, like in BOZWRECK and in Given and stuff.
Yeah.
But the lifestyle and the selection of lifestyle was like, it's not like you're just going through a timeline and like, let's find a lifestyle of Forrest. You know what I mean? There's intent behind that lifestyle. You know what I mean? You're like, this one invokes, and back to the word invoke, it like brings like humor or like intensity or something. Like, and I don't know. I think that the films that you've been a part of, especially like the BOZWRECK, the hijinks, like I mean, Baker on the skateboard side was able to do that. Like Beagle really, like watching Beagle tapes is just like easy. You throw it on the background, you're like, it is a mixture of that like comedy and humor and rawness and realness. And I don't think every filmer is able to extract that from riders. I think that that is a special thing that you and clearly some of your mentors were able to do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that might just stem from kind of being in the BOZWRECK era too. Like that's where I started, like, you know, really filming and stuff. So, and yeah, I guess you don't get that as much these days because, you know, people are worried of how others might react to something, you know, which is fair. I get it, but it just, yeah, there's less, there's just, like I was telling you the other night, there's just like less authenticity in a lot of things these days. And that's my main goal with like anything I've made is just like try and show the most authentic portrayal of the people involved, and then just like authentic to myself of like how I want it to be.
Well, let's get one tip you would have for a young filmmaker, somebody who's into making stuff. How do you think you stand out right now?
How do I think I stand out?
How do you think you could like, what advice
how could a
would
younger filmer stand out?
in this, like everybody's making content from every angle now.
Yeah.
And I think authenticity, like you said, there is a key factor, but I think if you pull back some of the layers, I think that there might be a bit more to it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's so many layers to this, but I just think it just seems like everyone is just looking at what is out there and what is kind of like hot or this and that, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna do that too, which is great. You can do that, but I think it's better to like look at it and be like, hey, what do I like about that? You know, and then also open your mind to all different kinds of things, like other forms of content, videos, this and that, and see what you do like and don't like. You know, there's a lot of videos that I watch where I love certain things about it, but then I don't care for a lot of other parts, you know. And for me, I always just like grew up, like I said, when I'd watch the videos, just like kind of studying them, I would just be like, oh, I really like this, and I like how you can make a slash go against the music like that, you know, or like have a turn match the part of a song. And I mean, that's not, but yeah, I think just kind of look at what excites you and then like look at it and then be like, now what can I bring, or what do I want to bring to the table, and try and like, I don't know, try something else. I just feel like for me lately, the past bit, like few and far between is there a video that genuinely gets me like, I don't know, feeling something, or like, fuck yeah, like I feel inspired now, I want to go out and create now, you know, like, and I don't mean to like talk shit or whatever, that's just my opinion, but I don't know, everything is just so, it's just different than when we were growing up watching videos, and that's like such an old head mentality, but it's like, it's just different. There's something missing there, and I don't necessarily know the answer.
I think what's missing, what pops to my mind, is the space in between films, which was you never being on a phone. You know what I mean? So now you're bombarded with your phone giving you content and snippets of like little edits 24/7, and I feel like it only kind of creates more of a niche of what you like in filmmaking, and so to create something that's a masterpiece for many is like few and far between. And I think that the only way to make something that's incredible is to be a great filmer, first off, which is a fuck ton of work and hours behind a lens. You know what I mean? You're not just going to become a good filmer because you bought a camera.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You actually got to use that thing full fucking time and be obsessed with it.
Yeah.
And then you have to be inspired by certain things. And then you actually kind of need to put your time into knowing the DNA of the culture that you're trying to, you know, that's what you're serving on the platter there. And if you don't know anything about that, it's hard to like piece all those things together. And that's why I think the last film that you did was kind of all those things that like really came together. I rewatched it yesterday and a couple days before, and I was like, you know, the writing in it is great. The edit is magnificent. Like the writing in it is fucking incredible. There's great snowboarding across the board from a lot of my favorite snowboarders, but the filming and the attention to detail and the song choices that you used, the lifestyles, like as somebody that does little edits, like I was like, dude, spent hours fucking piecing together these, like, there'd be like little sections where the song would like kind of glitch out and you would use 2 songs for a lot of people's parts. And then the in between that section to like glue those together so it like transitions perfectly. I was like, the amount of people that would overlook that and be like, oh, it's just transferred into the next song. It's like, did it feel seamless and you were on a fucking journey? And now I'm like, that's how I felt.
Oh, that's happy to hear that. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, that's the goal with everything is just like, for me, I like to try and make a video feel like a mushroom trip. You know, you kind of got this like, kind of going up and then you kind of like, oh wait, what's happening? It maybe gets crazy for a sec, but then you have this like clear euphoria state after, you know? And so I've always like tried to like mimic that feeling in the videos I create, as funny as that is. But yeah, no, thank you. The Knights of the Brown Table, like worked really hard on that one and went a little crazy a bit. Not crazy, just like I just burnt myself out so bad from that one. It was a lot of work, but like so happy and thankful for it. But I remember like I sat down with Ian. I was at Ian's house and we watched it. I was like, hey, I have it front to end. Like, come watch it with me. So we like watched it. And after I was like so happy and excited, but then I was also like, holy shit, like what now? Like I had just made what I've like wanted to make since I was like 18 years old, you know? Like something that I've had envisioned and I was like, fuck, I just did it. Now like, now what's the next thing? And it did. I like kind of got all bugged out. I'm not bugged out. I was just like, I don't know if I want to do this shit anymore, kind of a thing. Like I was like, I don't know if I can give anything more to the snowboard world, kind of a vibe.
Wow. I mean, it's kind of like when you film, which has never really happened for me, but there have been individuals who really, like at the end of the year, they must know like that video part is absolutely incredible. And I don't know if I'll be able to do that again. You know, like if you offered something that you're like, I put the time and I put the energy in, it's out there, I'm proud of. Like, were you proud of that film?
For sure. Oh, I was super proud. Like, just proud of everyone involved. Like, just like how everything came together. Like, I am nothing but like gratitude and appreciation for it. It just like burnt me out in a couple different ways, you know? Cause yeah, like Torres from North Face, like he at the premiere is like, hey, we're doing this Blake thing, which ended up being Blitz, you know? He's like, do you want to do it? And I was like, no. I was just like
straight up.
Yeah, I just told him and he's like, seriously? I was like, yeah, next year I just kind of need like a chill vibe.
But did the chill vibe that you took away, do you feel now that it's been a little bit longer of a period of time, was that necessary for you to get into the mindset you are going into this new film?
I think so, for sure. I was burnt. I was fried out. But also, like, this is the only way I've learned of, like, making a living, you know? So, like, for the winter, I was like, oh, I'm not going to do anything, you know? And I did have that intention. Then Blum hit me up and asked if I wanted to create, like, just a little Sims video, a trip to Japan, a trip to Mammoth. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great, actually. Like, it's not my whole winter. I can get a little bit of income and like have fun and hang out with those guys and do that. So I did that and yeah, it was fun. Like I definitely was still a little fried though, like filming that year, you know, and I'll be honest, I wasn't like fully there in my like creative headspace or like motivational headspace as well, you know, but we made something cool, I thought. And then yeah, I don't know. I've just been trying to figure out filming snowboarding right now is tough. Like to just make it a living doing it. Like, especially now I'm like 36, so it's just a little different. I'm like, I can't keep doing kind of what I have been doing, and that's fine. But just trying to have it make more sense now these days, you know?
So do you feel like a part of that burnout was financial burnout? Like when you got to the end of Knights of the Brown Table, it's a 2-year project. You know, you're not, like I said before, I don't think people realize just the attention to detail, which is hours in editing. Like I'm talking about like it's done, but then you basically re-edit it for another like hundreds and hundreds of hours in that, like everything that you put into like their milliseconds of editing. But I do a lot of those and I'm like, those all add up to time. And eventually, if you spent so much time on this project that not only did you film for the whole season and go through that kind of burnout of being exhausted, of just being in the mountains with a group of people, going through that whole energy, but then being on a laptop editing beyond full time, like, you know, you got to get to the end of it. And if someone's like, here's $100,000, you're like, fuck yeah, then I'm going to keep going. But if it's like, fuck, and now I'm strapped for cash, like I didn't make very much money out of this or as much as I would like. And then next year you don't get any, like, I think a lot of brands don't realize that when you have a filmmaker like yourself that has created a masterpiece, that masterpiece didn't come from just the hours in that 1 year. It came from you understanding a vision of filmmaking for like 20 years. And that came to a head through being inspired by the right aspects of this culture. And there's a huge value to that. And so, you know, even hearing in your voice there, you hear like, fuck, like I'm still into it. We're doing another project. But like, if we don't learn how to retain people like you, like Jake Price is somebody that, like, you know, he's made so many films and he gets paid there, but you need to retain as many of those individuals as possible. And you being a new one of those, like, if you lose the Hosnicks and the Kurt Heinies and the, you know, Mac Dogs of the world and, you know, Leyland and Rusty and all these people start peeling off and they're like, Brockle, like those people don't want to make films anymore. It's like, it's not a good thing. You want those people to be the ones that are making movies that are representing your culture because they actually know how to do that and reflect snowboarding in a way that it needs to be reflected more than ever right now. Yeah. Like, we really do need to be like, this is fucking snowboarding. Brown did that. And now, like, I don't want you to fucking be like, hey, yeah, I'm like interested in something else. I'm like, fuck no, dude. Like, how do we hire you for airtime? How much, dude? We got to keep you.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all good. It just is what it is. I'm, you know, not trying to be like, fuck this shit. It's just, yeah, it's a funny time right now in the snowboard world with like, just like, especially independent stuff like Brown. Like, it is crazy to try and fund those videos. So if you do ever see an independent project, especially in the backcountry, like kudos to anyone, because it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, and it's a lot more involved than the streets.
Do you like to see the well-rounded, mixed, diverse movie like Brown, Knights of the Brown Table there, like bunch of different riders from different brands all coming together? As we've seen in the last 10 years, it's really been brand focused. Do you like one more than the other?
Yeah, I mean, I think when Vans came out with, you know, that brand video, it was kind of really broke the mold in a lot of ways, which is sick. But I just think it shifted away from actually being groups of friends. Like, I don't know, that's what was so special about Knights of the Brown Table. And even like the earlier Brown with like Keegan, Scott, and Harrison, you know, like, it was just us. It was just our, like, it's just homies that are going out and trying to like push each other, work towards the same goal, and like just do our thing, you know? And I think that just with brands, you don't get that as much. Yeah, like there are a lot of brands that most of the team are great homies, you know, but it's just different too. They're not marketing the people themselves necessarily, you know, they're marketing the brand. And so they also, these days especially, they try and probably keep it, you know, cleaner than what most people would do. But like, to me, that's just inauthentic. Like, our culture is kind of just like a shit show. Like, there are a lot of people that like to get fucked up and like, you know, party, and like it's just been a part of the lifestyle. It's not like I'm trying to glorify it or anything or be like, yeah, this is great, but it's like, I like reality. I think in this world we just love to put like veils up a bunch and like just like not look at shit, but it's like, look at reality for what it is, you know, like. And that's why I also like to try and show as much in the videos as I can. Like, there have been many times when I put stuff in the edits and the writers are like, no, and I'm like, dude, this is fucking gold. This is gold. Yeah, there's been times, and there have been times when I've pushed the envelope and I have used it and they've gotten bummed, but like, I don't know. To me, it's just like, yeah, I get it. Like, I would probably be in your same shoes, but also it's like, you did it. It's reality. If you don't like it, then change from that, you know? I don't know. And that's also, it's not like I'm trying to paint a picture of like, look at this person, you know? It's like, no, this is just what happened and it's funny. There's some funny shit and like some fucked up shit in this world, you know? Like, I don't know. We got to do our best also, I think, to try and find humor in a lot of this stuff, especially these days. It's just so intense.
Well, I think everybody puts so much pressure on themselves to fit in a box, to fit social norms, and to like be represented in a certain life that, or a certain light that, I don't know. People forget that we're very flawed creatures. You know what I mean? And we do go through this life making so many mistakes. And then you learn from those mistakes. But even when you get to the end of the road, you're still making mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to just zoom out a little bit and just let like, well, actually, the thing is with social media and stuff, I think people are starting to just fear to have anything other than like, there's like a way that's acceptable to exist on social media. And I think people bring that into reality. And I don't think that's a good thing. Like, you need to have people like you that are willing to push back a little bit and be like, yeah, like, I'm going to talk about mushrooms on a snowboard podcast. You know what I mean? And if that offends you, I don't know what to tell you. Like, clearly you've never been to the, a parking lot or anything like that with a bunch of snowboarders. Because some people like psychedelics. Some people like smoking weed. Some people don't drink at all or smoke weed. But it's like, you're not trying to push anything down somebody's throat. You're just presenting snowboarding and these figures that you're filming as they are.
Yeah. And like, I mean, that's drugs, drinking, everything. It's a part of every culture. It's just snowboarding, skateboarding, surfing. We document this shit a lot. So it's like, it's just a part of it. And that's why like probably we've gotten late. Like if you were to go into baseball or I don't know, some sport, I'm sure if you were filming those guys every day and they're like, I don't know, I'd imagine some of them are getting pretty fucked up, and that's like, it's just a part of this world, but like with snowboarding, skateboarding, like we really love to document it because we have so much free time a lot as well. Like in the off time, off season and stuff. And it's just like, yeah, people just do their thing.
And brands, I feel like that try to make brands that try to represent all action sports are the ones that are the most like, hey, like you can't vape or have cigarettes in this thing or that or this. It's like listen up. If you want to sponsor this, like this culture, like this is just part of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like you look at the early magazines that were it was only snowboarders that ran the industry before like the mid 90s, and Blunt magazine and stuff. And you saw that rawness and people were addicted to it. And then they overshot and they learned and then they had families and got a real job. And it's like, not everybody derailed their whole life just because they watched a movie once or heard a rap album or watched a snowboard video that had, rated R entertainment in it. That's just part of life and you learn from those hurdles. But these bigger brands sometimes try to just be like, I don't know, like they want to benefit and make money off the culture. And then at the same time, they want to like, I don't know, tell a story that's not fully true either. And you're like, well, there are a lot of kids who are riding the park right now that are vaping. You know what I mean? We can try to say that there's not or whatever, but most likely you as the person who works at the brand X that's like, don't have that in there. I'm sure if I saw you outside of a nightclub, you'd be bumming a cheeky dart too. You know what I mean? And tooting on somebody's cotton candy vape, wouldn't you?
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of contradictory in this world. And, it just is what it is. But yeah, I like reality. I like showcasing it. And yeah.
I mean, I will say, though, just to play devil's advocate to this conversation, that when you are older and you have the ability to, have a podcast or make a film, that, these kids do get inspired and impacted by those things. You look at like the whiskey films or whatever, Baker, like there's no way there's not an impact. And like, for sure, those films, it sucks to say, but there's a 1% chance that like you're going to derail some kid's fucking life because he idolized what you do.
For sure.
But like, I don't know, like what's your 2 cents on that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a fine line as well, with certain things.
I think as long as you don't have drugs in it, which I think like as somebody who like, I don't classify marijuana or mushrooms or alcohol or cigarettes into that like drug category.
Yeah.
And for those, I think that the vast majority of our society is like, you know, either using or those things, or they have used them, or it's not like those things can really derail your life if you use them in moderation, or just seeing them around. You're not like, it's not like you can't pair that with like meth and like cocaine and these
No.
other drugs that are like, you know, I think have real, you don't even know what's in them. You know what I mean? It's like, if it's made from a lab, man, you got to ask some questions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, clearly, yeah. Thanks for the devil's advocate there. But yeah, not trying to like endorse these things. But yeah, it's not like I'm trying to show exactly what everything everybody's doing. But it's just like to show people being them. Maybe if they're intoxicated or not, you know, just like, yeah, I just do my best to show like what is.
Okay, so growing up, we'll go back a little bit here, because I think an important chapter that I want to know personally about is, you know, BOZWRECK. I think that's obviously a cult classic. You got BOZWRECK, BOZWRECK 2, BOZWRECK 3000. Maybe, I mean, you briefly explained how you got kind of involved in that, but like maybe describe that time and just kind of digesting some of the debauchery and some of the filming. And I mean, like, yeah, just being there for snowboarding when it was kind of going in a big shift from like the Mac Dog, like poppy songs and stuff like that didn't represent all snowboarding. And then I think BOZWRECK kind of birthed from, I mean, maybe I'll let you speak on where it birthed from.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly where, you know, maybe a little bit of like kids know burning bridges, love, hate stuff. It maybe birthed from there. But I don't know, just Matty and Nate, I think didn't really have sponsors at the time. I feel like that's when they started to produce the BOZWRECK boards, you know? And then, yeah, they were just chilling with LJ, the manager at Milo, who was like a filmer as well. And they started just working on BOZWRECK 1. And I remember I was working at Milo late one night, and LJ was like, I got a copy of BOZWRECK 1. Like, do you and Drew want to watch? Me and my friend Drew. We're like, fuck yeah. So we like closed the shop. We watched it. And I remember, I was like, you know, because I was like 16 at that point, maybe 17. I think I was 16. And so my video knowledge was like, yeah, a lot of burning bridges, love, hate, like Mac Dog and stuff. And then I watched BOZWRECK and I was like, whoa, that was crazy. Just like the production, like everything about it was just not what I was expecting at all. And I remember being little, watching it, I was like, huh, that was crazy. Like, just kind of like dumbfounded a bit, like, because it was just so different from what previously they had been in the production and everything. And then, yeah, I just kept watching. I was like, this is so sick. And like, yeah, LJ just started inviting Kel and I out with them. And when they like were working on BOZWRECK 2, yeah, he was like, yo, Keegan's coming in town. Like, he's going to be here pretty much all winter. We're going to like work on this. Like, we want you to help film as much as you can. And I was like, for sure. And I was in high school and working a job as well. So like in between work and school, I was out with them. And that's like first time I met Keegan. I'd already known Kel for about a year at that point. And yeah, it was an insane experience. Like a lot of Salt Lake, we just chilled in Salt Lake. And then in March or April, they went to Quebec and they were like, you got to come. And I was like, I'll ask my parents if they'll let me get school off, you know? So I asked them, they're like, yeah, like we'll sign the papers so you don't have to go to school. They also used some of their miles and got me out there. Like my parents are the shit. They've always been very like supportive with my filming and editing stuff. So yeah, that was like first big international trip. I was 18, and then, you know, also you could drink in Quebec at 18. So it was just like, and I'm with fucking Nate, Matty, LJ, Bob Plum, Keegan, Kale, and LJ. And we all just split this one hotel room with 2 queen beds.
All of those?
Yeah. There's a photo Bob has, like a bird's eye view of all of us in there. Like I slept on, like 4 of us were on the ground, or 3 of us were on the ground. Like I was on the ground the whole time, and it was a smoking room too. So it was like so many cigarettes being smoked in there, and like, yeah, it was just a whole new experience for me, you know. And like we went out to the clubs, we went out to strip clubs, like in between filming, and it was kind of like one day on, one day off was kind of the vibe of that trip in Quebec. But it was insane. We got like some of the best footage for that video on that trip. You know, like all of Keegan's ending footage is from there, and like the hard way back one, switch 3 off on the down flat. Like all that stuff was from that trip. And yeah, it was fun. We were there for 2 weeks, but yeah, BOZWRECK was the shit. I mean,
it's such a weird thing. Like we were just talking about partying there a little bit, and there's something about snowboarding and skateboarding specifically that it's birthed from this like raw, unapologetically being yourself, chaos kind of like, and releasing your personality through this fucking snowboard. And that does pair well with partying for whatever, for a lot of different reasons. And there's something about partying and snowboarding that when you're balancing the two, they kind of like fuel each other in a way. Like the personality of the rider, and then the rider kind of like, you know, look at some of my favorite snowboarders of all time or skateboarders. And I'm not trying to glorify partying at all here, but there is this like, before they overshoot sometimes, there's this like, I don't know, there's some like something special about that and snowboarding. Like before all these like figures like overshot, like they filmed some of their most, they're so, the partying makes them like say that extra little bit of fuck it, you know what I mean? And I look at like some of that footage that you filmed of BOZWRECK, and you're literally filming Keegan probably before even he knew how good he was. Yeah. Just like, you know, you're saying he's partying and then taking a day off, partying and then taking a day off.
Keegan, Kel, and I weren't indulging as much as they were. You know, I mean, they were doing a lot of other things. We were 17 or 18 at the time, you know. Kel was 19. So they were going heavier. Like we were going out and, you know, drinking here and there, but we would like go home way earlier than them and like go pass out and stuff. So it was mostly like Nate and Matty that were like
doing their own thing.
But no, we were still going out a little bit. But no, I get what you're saying. There are people that can produce while like partying.
Totally.
Like
I mean, myself included. I had a lot of my best days when I was like 18 to 22. There's like that window where it's all magical, and you're like, if you land sideways on the jump, you're still okay. But like then you turn 25 and it all rapidly changed. You come up short on one jump and shatter your ankle. Yeah. And then you continue to drink and not rehab, and you're like, oh fuck, now I got to limp forever, and I should have taken that seriously. But like
Keegan and Blum have this thing they call the creative hangover. It's when they can just, I mean, I've seen it. They've done some crazy shit being super hungover, you know, and I'm like, all right, yeah.
The creative hangover.
That's what they call it. Yeah.
That's, I'm glad I extracted that from this conversation, because that's what I feel like. I feel like I've been on a lot of trips with riders who have filmed some of their best shit, like kind of banged up. And I'm not even saying like that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying back to like, it just is what it is. That's what I digested. They were out till Travis Kennedy. You know what I mean? Great. If the forum, that front boards, that kink rail, homie didn't even go to sleep the night before, did that first try, and then got his fucking plane and went home. Yeah. And I've heard multiple stories of individuals doing that. Yeah. You're just like, I don't know. It's like, it's beautiful chaos, you could say.
Yeah, exactly. Controlled chaos, beautiful chaos. Yeah.
Yeah. We do have a Patreon question from Jeff _D. He says, what are a few standout moments from the BOZWRECK days? And I want to I'm going to repeat that one time. I want to interrupt myself 1 second here. For people that don't know, Nate Bozung, at this time too, I think he was going through the deal with Neff, and like he's sitting on a couple $1 million, and like to be around him during this era of like him partying, but also having too much money he didn't kind of know what to do with. I'm like, did that play a role? I want to maybe add that before the question so people had some context.
With Nate, I don't know if he had gotten that Neff money. I think he got it after BOZWRECK 3000.
Okay.
So it was kind of like after we had done the BOZWRECK thing.
Oh, okay. Nice.
I believe, because I remember, I'm pretty sure, I could be mistaken, that was a while ago, but yeah, I wasn't around him, but like, I don't know. You know, it's like that lifey with Matty, like what does he say? Can't pull out cash, but the credit card's still working. You know, like he pulled cash out of the ATM. Yeah. like that was kind of their vibe a bit on trips. So it was like when we'd go out to the bar, like they were just buying us drinks, you know, like it was like, especially Nate. Nate was like, it's my brother's birthday. Like, I got you guys on drinks tonight. We're like, all right, cool, you know? So there was a little bit of that vibe, but yeah, I don't think he had the money at that point. But as far as most memorable moments with BOZWRECK, I mean, honestly, that Quebec trip, like that was the most memorable thing. That was like my first international trip, first like experience, like kind of really doing this snowboard thing as like just being like, oh shit, like this is what it's like, and this is what you do. At least this is what I thought.
This is what Nate does.
This is what Nate,
this is what Nate Bozung does,
and Matty like to do. But no, it was great. Yeah, just and like growing up with Kel and Keegan and like just filming with them a lot. We were all the same age, and just like working with them on that and traveling around. It was just really fun and special. Like, and just like, 18, you're like figuring so much stuff out in your own personal realm. And yeah, it was good, eye-opening experiences. And I mean, yeah, just filming Nate and Matty was a trip, because like all of their stuff as a kid, I was like, I thought they were so sick. And then I was like chilling with them like we were just homies, and it was sick.
I mean, those two are such big personalities, but there's also so many other big personalities and elite snowboarders. Like you have Keegan, who's blowing up. You have like Justin, Bennee, Deadlung, Bradshaw, like the mix of individuals that were Lane Knack, like the individuals that are in those movies were the most exciting if you had your finger on the pulse back then. Like if you knew who Lane Knack was, you were like, you couldn't wait to see footage of him.
Yeah.
And then when he has like a backlip 270 on an up tube and then he grabs Japan after, you're like, what the fuck did I just watch? That's one of the greatest clips of all time.
Yeah, Lane's sick.
Lane's really sick.
Yeah, no, it was dope. It was just like kind of showed me how important like the family vibe and dynamic is within a group, and like working on a project together, because then that's just a very big key ingredient to it. It's like having people that you can be with all the time, and like, yeah, get annoyed by each other, but just like be able to coexist with one another in like such weird spaces and traveling and all that stuff.
I mean, we're speaking to the rawness of some of these films back then. Many that I was a part of too back then, like just chaos. Epic times though. You want to come out the other side. That's all I'm saying. Is it's fun to experience, but you don't want to keep on that train,
Yeah.
Maybe jump on for a bit, see what it's like, and then just fucking get off. Because if you stay on it for too long, it's not a good look, and it's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I don't know. I think there's a country song about that, but anyways, cleaning up the overall look. I feel like you haven't sacrificed the look and the vision and what you've been inspired by over the years. You've continued to make films the way you like them. Were there ever times that brands reached out to you, or you heard riders talking about like, hey, like this company's not going to be in unless we like kind of tighten up, or, I might get dropped if we have lifestyles like this? And have you ever had to sacrifice some of the overall vision for the films that you've been in due to what these companies maybe wanted more?
Not really. No, not necessarily. The only like thing that pops into my head was just like for the Torment video Screwdriver. I didn't film that, but I edited that for them. And there's just this amazing footage of Mason at this high ollie bar event in Bend. And he's just, monstered the fuck out. And Rockstar was a sponsor for the vid, and I asked him, I was like, dude, we got to put this footage in. It's so good. He's like, I don't think we should, just like little dynamics like that. But that's really it. That was the only, but I think we put it in at the end, and we turned it black and white, so it was just a little toned down. I can't remember.
Was there ever any like what about Keegan being on Burton and BOZWRECK? Like I always heard some drama with that, but I never really heard it from the horse's mouth. Like I've never heard it from someone who was actually involved with those films, or you as a filmer and a friend of Keegan. Yeah,
I mean, that was more so like with Bob Plum and that cover, the one where he wrote I Love BOZWRECK under it. He definitely got a lot of flack and shit for that. And he would just in general get a lot of flack from them just filming with BOZWRECK, like having him wanting to be there. I don't know all the details of that, though. You know, you'd have to talk to them, really. I don't want to say something that I have no knowledge of.
Nice. Well said. That's good. You're not spreading misinformation on a podcast. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Because sometimes I'm like, fuck, did I just, like, who am I? You know what I mean? And remember that, everybody.
Yeah.
This is just a podcast with two snowboarders speaking openly.
Yeah.
Do your own homework. You know, we spoke a little bit about partying there and substances. Like, if you got schizophrenia and stuff
Yeah.
or whatever, you know, like, do your own homework. Like, once you're over 18, man, like, you're on your own, man. Like, you got to digest this information and do what you will with it. And we don't want anybody ruining their lives here. You know what I
No.
mean? But we also want, like, you know what? Fuck, have a beer with your friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how to respond to that one.
You ever hang out with Jay too?
No, I never really got to hang out with him. There was a couple times when I was younger, I hung out with Deadlung a lot, from like 18 to 22, and we would go hang out a little bit, just like gatherings, but I never talked to him. I was super fucking like intimidated and scared. Especially back then, I was really shy and quiet. So yeah, I kept to myself.
Just
around.
an observer.
Yeah, I would see him around, like went to some like fireworks shows for July 4th, would go over to his place and like chill for a bit, things like that.
Must have been pretty fun to watch Deadlung snowboard kind of
Yeah.
live back then, like in his prime, like ultimate snap and like a pretty cool outlook on snowboarding, you could say.
Oh yeah, no, Lungy's the best. He's like one of my OG homies, and I mean, he taught me how to roll, and like first person I ever bought weed from, and yeah.
You got a Deadlung story or a favorite clip? I feel like you filmed some banging ones of them.
Yeah, favorite clip of Lungy. Oh man, damn, I blanking on this. I mean, I haven't filmed him in like 15 years or something, probably.
Did you film the clips of him olling onto the roof and then he does like the nollie Japan and the nollie back one? I always loved those
in
clips.
3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah, I
clips
shot
were
those ones.
sick.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like, yeah, dude, him and Bennee's part in that were so fire.
Yeah. What? Man, I need to rewatch some of
I
these
rewatched all of them,
videos.
dude, and I
Yeah,
was like,
yours-
dude, that nollie back one off the roof.
Yeah, I
like,
know what
that
you're
was
talking about. It's like the up
long
roof,
lens.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From behind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shot at
Yeah.
like a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
Out of all those characters back then, whose snowboarding was your favorite to film? You filmed so many of the greats, especially when it comes to style and approach.
I mean, honestly, just any time filming Keegan back then was just, I mean, even any time filming him is a treat, you know, especially during that time when he was just so like locked in. And yeah, I remember the first night I ever filmed it's in like the BOZWRECK 2 video. It's like this little down flat and then a long down reel. And he does like gap front 2-7 to the down bar. It's like very first spot I ever like met him, filmed him at, and I was like I'd never seen that caliber of riding in person. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, who the fuck is this kid, you know? And I mean, yeah, he's, you know, Keegan's one of the best for a reason. Like, even if I didn't grow up with him or was friends with him, he'd still be one of my favorite snowboarders to this day. So,
Yeah, undeniable.
yeah.
You did a trip with them to Italy, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to him before the podcast. He said that was a really memorable trip for him. He
Yeah.
said to just bring up, what was the name of it? Progelato?
Progelato, yeah. I don't know if I'm butchering it, but yeah, Progelato.
Talk a little bit about that trip. Where that's in Italy somewhere?
Yeah, it's in Italy. I can't remember. It's under a town where they did the Olympics. It's right outside of Turin, in Turin, Italy. I think Turin is the
Near Rome, of course.
Yeah, it's in the upper parts of Italy. But yeah, that was a really fun trip. It was like Shane Charlebois, Keegan, Kale, Austin Sweeten, Kokard. I don't know if I said Kokard or not. Pearly, Jerome Tannen. Or was
Damn,
Pearly there? Yeah,
stacked.
we had like, I can't remember. We were like rotating. It was like an Absinthe theater, and we had a lot of people in Europe, so we were kind of splitting people up and moving around. But yeah, we went to this cool, insane resort. Like, it has one lift that takes you up, and then it's like a little Poma ride up, and then that's it. And they don't groom it or anything. Everything is fresh. And we got there after like this insane storm, and then we were there for this insane storm cycle as well. So we were there for a while, and they had this insane underground techno, dance bar, like discotheque. And it was like you'd go to the town and you'd be like, where the fuck did all these people come from? Because it was like such a quiet little mountain town, but it was like this party at the discotheque would just go off. So we went there a lot and did that. That was just fun. Just a lot of dancing and hanging out. And I don't know. Yeah, Keegan got everyone got like really good footage on that trip. And it was just fun riding. I don't know. I'm sure there's a reason he brought that up, but I'm not going to speak on that.
Was there a clip of Keegan on that trip, or Cocard or Sweeten, that you recall being like, we walked away with some A grades?
Yeah, I mean, that's where Keegan did that. He got that cover of the Back 7 Japan off the Windlip. Like, that was there. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was in Ever Since. The shot was in Ever Since. I can't remember. Maybe Method cover. I can't remember. Or was it a Trans World cover? I don't remember.
Was it shot from behind?
From behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that one. And then like Cocard did a double cork on this jump there. Austin did, I don't know, I can't remember. And then found some sick street stuff for Kel. Because we were like in the, Kel was just kind of like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here at that time. But yeah, we got some really cool stuff. It was just a fun trip. Beautiful area. And then we actually went back for a brown year. And we got, because it like dumped 6 feet of snow. We went there, drove there. We wake up, go to the resort. The whole lift is just shut down. Like it's broken. And we're like, what the fuck? And we call, there was this guy we made friends with before from the Absinthe trip. And we went to his restaurant and we were asking him about it. He's like, yeah, it's closed. Like they're not going to fix it for like years. Like the resort's just done. And we're like, oh, fuck. And he actually tried to hit up his homie who was the mayor there, tried to get us like a cat ride up, but he just said no go. And then, yeah, we left that zone. But it was like a very special mountain for sure. But I don't know if it's still running or not.
I mean, that Back 7 Japan is like, you walk away with that clip as a filmer and you're like, yes.
Yeah. No, we got some sick stuff.
I mean, that's probably one of the best things in the world, is to be able to share that, like, we've got a clip. And I feel like Keegan would have been kind of frustrating as another rider, because if Keegan does something that's even like, if he does something or comes off early or anything, it's just always a clip anyway. Like Keegan just has an ability to make anything he does enjoyable. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure you've seen and witnessed some of his, like, do you have a couple favorite Keegan clips that you filmed then? And same with Kale. I feel like you filmed a bunch of Kale shit.
No, I have
over the years.
Bunch of them. Like, I mean, the most recent shots of them that I've shot, like Kel's back one, it's in the Knights of the Brown Table, but he back ones over that closeout rail at Skull Candy office. I just like, to me, it's just so Kel, just a big huck it ollie, but backside one and so steezy.
Dude, that clip, like, Mikey hits that with him, right?
Yeah. Mikey hits it with him. That one, and then Kel's ender clip, it's that like down ledge onto the flat electrical box and then to the road. Like we've been looking at that for like years. It's right by Kel's house. And we drive by and he'd be like, dude, when it snows here, let's go. And like that happened for like 6 years or 5 years, I think. And because I'd always be gone when it would snow in Salt Lake, he just was like, I just want to get this one trick, And that was the very first trick we filmed for Knights of the Brown Table.
Damn.
Was that trick.
The electrical box or the back one?
Kel's, the electrical box. Yeah, it just dumped Salt Lake really early and we went and he did it. And then it was like, shit. And then, yeah. Kel worked on that part just all on his own dime and like just cruising with us. I tried to help him out when I could with certain expenses, but yeah, I was really stoked for Kel with that Knights of the Brown Table part.
I mean, that's a standout. Yeah. I mean, the song that you used too for that ASAP song, like when it dropped, it was like the lifestyles leading up. You're like not sure what song you're gonna use, and then it just drops to that ASAP song, and he back 180s through that hallway, and I was like, kind of like. It's wild to me because snowboarding always had like an expiry date on riders. And now you see from these track records of riders that continue to film as they get older.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was some of Kale's like freshest snowboard. Like even just the 50 on the fence and shit, like the chain link shit, like everything he was doing, I was like, he just looks like his kit was fucking fire.
Yeah.
He looks so cool. All of his, like, he just looks like somebody that if I was younger, I'd be like, I want to look like that on a fucking snowboard.
For sure, yeah. Kel like right when he got dropped by his sponsors, you know, I feel like was really when he was entering into his like groove and his true boarding, you know, of like, this is what I want to do. Like he was really just starting to enter that when he got dropped. And then he like kept snowboarding here and there. But yeah, like his snowboarding now is just, it was almost like ahead of his time when he had his sponsors, just because, I don't know, the landscape changed so much. But yeah, Kel's shit is so sick. He's filming a video part this year as well for Jordan Morrison, like the Utah Valley Curb. You know, they all work for JMO's company, Utah Valley Curb. In the summer, they do curbs at houses and parks and stuff. And they're making a video. It's like Turd Lord, JMO, Joey Fava, Kel. I know there's some others, but I'm missing them. But
Fuck.
yeah, he said he's like got like over 15 clips right now, I think is.
Full part.
Yeah, another full part from Kel. So I'm really excited to see what he's been doing with them and check that video out.
Okay, so you've filmed. We've gone over a couple of the greats here. Keegan was your favorite to film. Over those years, is there anybody that you felt other than Kale that was like a bit overlooked by snowboarding about like what they brought to the table and stuff? Maybe you saw some raw talent or like just as far as marketing or anything. Like this guy fucking is so sick and snowboarding slept on him.
Yeah, I mean, earlier, there's a few for sure. People that I've just directly worked with, you know, like I would say Timmy Ronan was one of them. He was just one of the sickest rail riders at the time. I thought like really good style. And yeah, didn't get the love or shine necessarily. And then like Scott Brown was another one that like he got some flowers for sure, but like he was one of the most insane like people I've ever witnessed rail riding ever. He's like so fucking good and calculated. Blew my mind every time I like shot with him. I mean, you know, he got his flowers with some things, but I think he should have gotten more. Trying to think of who else. I mean, yeah, it happens to so many talented snowboarders. And then, dude, fucking Chucky. Like, how the fuck did that dude not ever blow the fuck up? Like, he's insane.
He's the best, but I think that Chucky, deep down inside, always knew that he was better than everybody, and he just never wanted it. You know what I mean? Like
And
that
respect.
extra effort. I just feel like of being like a pro snowboarder.
Yeah, it just wasn't
Like he was on Burton back in the day,
Yeah.
and like I did a couple trips with him here and there in Super Park, and it was like undeniably better than everybody when it came to like he was like had this like Nicholas Mueller-esque kind of snowboarding, but like also like I don't know how to explain it. Like he was doing like front five like tie pans and shit, but the way he would poke the tie pan was like I don't know, he was the sickest. Or
Yeah.
back one like Canadian bacon or whatever, like weird grabs,
Yeah.
but like his
His
flavor,
style.
and he's skinny,
Yeah.
so he's got lank, and I mean I think he filmed he got like a front
got some
10 for you,
stuff.
a front 7 for you
Yeah,
guys.
he got some stuff in the brand. And that was like my first time meeting him and hanging out with him. But I was just like, dude, who the fuck is this? Like you know, and that's probably my bad. I didn't know about him or who he was. Like before then, I was like, dude, this guy is the sickest. Like that's the kid. Like I just love watching that kind of snowboarding and that style. You know, like it's rare these days to get something like that. I feel like.
Totally. And I think that there's a lot of snowboarders. You mentioned Chucky there, and Scott Brown. These individual and Kale, like so many people think that like I don't know, there's like this pro snowboard landscape, and it sucks because it weighs so heavy on people to be like, if you want to do it, you got to be a fucking social media guru, and it does exclude certain people from that club. That I'm imagining Kale doesn't want to take selfie videos and talk about his product that he got in the morning, you know?
Yeah.
And it used to be like the pivot for our generation to go from like the brand does all of the promotion and marketing if they fuck with you to now it's sick because it's like, you know, it's up to you. You can be like anyone can make it. It doesn't matter anymore. But it also is like waving your own flag to like, look at me was just something that most older individuals, that wasn't the case back in the day. It was like, you don't talk about yourself being sick. Like you'll get your flowers if you show up and someone takes a photo of you and it gets run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now you're like, the photo doesn't get run. You post it by yourself. And you're like, check out my frontside air. And you're like, do you like it? Like, fuck, dude. Like,
Yeah. Social media is a funny one.
do you like social media at all? I mean,
yeah, I use it. I use it. I'm not posting much on there, whether it's my personal account or even the Brown account. I could probably be better on that. Like, I've had so many times people are like, dude, you gotta post more on Brown. And I'm like, fuck, why? Like, I don't know. For me, it's gotta like be something where like, yeah, this is sick, or like, but also it's just like, I don't know. I struggle with social media. It's just like anything else. It has its positives and its negatives, but yeah, I think anything I do post or try and post on there, it's like, all right, is this like something I like and like something that I'm hyped on, and then yeah, I'll post that. But it's just a funny world on there.
I mean, the funniest. I literally hate it most of the time. Like, I think everybody does to a certain point now, because most people are on their phones too much. And then my wife the other day was like talking to me, and she's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, like, you're a content creator. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, and she's not even fucking lying. Like, I was like, fuck, that was like, that one hurt.
Yeah.
But somebody like, it's got to make that content. You're like, oh, like, that shouldn't be such a fucking heavy tie to fucking snowboarding. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
No, but I mean, that's what like makes the wheels go round in the snowboard world now, is fucking content.
Do you think it's gonna last?
I don't know.
Do you think there's gonna be a shift one day where like all this is like in 10 years we're just like, what the fuck were we doing?
I don't know.
Or has Pandora's box been open?
Right now, I don't see an end in sight. I think people want something else, but we just don't know what we want yet. That's like, I don't know. Somebody's got to come up with something a little different. I don't know if it needs to be something different or just, I don't know, just like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
What do you think the future of snowboarding looks like?
Just in general?
Yeah, like,
I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting just, I think, to see what brands do with riders, kind of. Just like how that'll evolve. Like, think of how much it's evolved over the past 10 years. Like, is there going to be a place for them? Is there still going to be room and a place for them in 10 years from now where it makes sense for the brand to have them? I don't know. I don't know brand shit. I don't know business. Like, I don't know that world, but it just seems like from the past 10 years, it's just shifted more away from the rider and the folk. Like, it's not like it's shifted away, but it's just different. It's a different environment. And yeah, who knows what like consumerism will be 10 years from now, or even winters. And like, I don't know.
Do you like this environment more or less than when we were growing up?
I think I like I guess the old head vibe of just like, I like it when I was younger. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it now, or I guess I have my opinions on things that I don't like about it now, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's just doing its thing as a snowboard as a whole. But yeah, I want to see more flavor. I want to see more authenticity in snowboarding. I want to see more like just, I don't know, inspiring shit.
Are there any riders or crews or films that you feel like are kind of waving that flag of authenticity and like something that you're like, fuck yeah, like that next thing I fuck with, and I think that like,
Yeah, I mean, like anything Colton Feldman's been doing is all, I mean, he's just the energy, the vibe that he creates within those videos and the people he works with. He just has, it's just a, great formula. He's always been doing it. He's one of my favorites. And then like, I don't know. I think for me, what I just really want to see, I would love to see all the dope people and filmers that have gotten picked up by brands and stuff. Like, I would love to have them be let out and be like, who do you want to film with? And like have them go make a project. Like Jake Durham, I'd love to see another fucking house call video. And I want to see Colton do like just another full on Good Sport where it's just him and his friends. Like the, not saying there's anything wrong with the 686 brand stuff, but I would like to see more people given the opportunities to create something that's theirs and not necessarily for a brand. Not saying the stuff for the brand isn't dope. It is. I just want to see videos more like when we were younger, just dope group of homies getting together and creating an independent film with their travels.
Do you know what would be really fresh right now? That got me thinking. What if a brand like, you know, I don't know, Arc'teryx or whatever, like a bigger brand, Vans or whatever, rather than sponsoring, because the landscape is changing. Hear me out, people. You sponsor a filmmaker and like they are a pro, and everything I feel like right now as far as content is about storytelling, and you sponsor that filmer, you pay him as like he's a super pro on your fucking team, and then you give him that ability to be like, yeah, now go, you can go and film like whatever, you know what I mean? You still run the logo in it and stuff like that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be all your fucking people in the movie. But you sponsor the filmmaker. I think that'd be fucking fresh as fuck. And you're like, and then like the film, they're like behind the scenes and you document everything. And like, I don't know. I just feel like right now my favorite content is like, trying to find that authentic piece, but finding a story that hasn't been told, you know, I think is exciting. We've all seen snowboard videos for a long time, and that's why it's so hard to make a good one for us old heads. So why not fucking pivot and make something that's fucking feels a little different? And it's so fucking hard to make something feel and look different right now.
It is 100%. I mean, even like for myself with this video that we're working on now, like I know there are some songs, like I've been showing Nick and Blake some songs, and Blake's a very opinionated one, like, but he's great in that sense because he has this vision. He knows how he wants things to look. But you know, I'll play him some songs like, I don't know about this. I'm like, but dude, like, just, I guess I see it in my head. You know, there are times when I play a song for a person and I'm like, well, let me like create it first. Like, let me show you the visual to it, because right now you're just getting the, you know, just auditory aspect of it. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. What was leading into?
I kind of like where you're going, and anything music right now.
Yeah,
because I feel like that plays a huge role.
Yeah, it plays a huge role. I mean, that's it. I mean, a lot of the videos these past days is just kind of the same for the most part, you know. And I mean, I guess people could say the same thing for my work and whatnot. Like, oh, he just uses the same kind of stuff, this and that. But there are like times, like if I'm making another video, like a big brown type Knights of the Brown Table video, I would want to try and create it with no external input. Because every video or project I've worked on, I've always really liked to create with the people that I've worked on it with, have them be stoked on it just as much as I'm stoked on it. But I think maybe for something to be fully different and like just different than what we've seen, I thought it'd be cool to like no outsiders get to see it until it's done. Like, even I want myself to be questioning it, like, fuck, is this it? You know, like, but have no other input except myself. I think that's when maybe things would maybe change more, of like if people just really went within and was like, what do I want to fucking create, and how do I want to create, and how do I want it to see, or how do I want it to be like visually, and how do I want it to feel, and all that. Because right now I feel like most people are just looking at the external and are grabbing bits from that, you know.
Oh, dude, Knights of the Brown Table, anything Colton's made in the last couple of years, like with the Atlas 1 and Atlas 2, I feel like this year in particular, you're going to see so many people just trying to like come up with that same recipe. But like, I like your advice there, being like, dude, like if you close the blinders and you fucking hone in on your own project and make it, like, I think that would be really sick. I would actually like a filmer to do that, and I'm sure there's been one, but then to tell that story of like, I did this alone in my basement, and nobody came and sat down and helped me pick songs. Because like you were saying there, like a lot of times that I do the same thing. I'm really into music, and a lot of the videos over the last couple of years or whatever, I'll have input into the music. But when you play a song for a lot of people, exactly like you were saying, they're just like, they can't see it, but you do. You see something. So like, to fucking remove all of the fucking other factors that are going to kind of deter you away from like making the film the way you want it. And I think that would be sick. You made a film as a collective, as a group of homies. It was a home run. It's probably going to be, is it? a little daunting to try to make another film just with the pressure of trying to recreate something as good of Knights of the Brown Table?
I mean, I think at first it was for me. For now, I'm like, whatever. I just want to create and like I don't know. I've never been one to like plan something out. I've always just very like organically, like I shoot stuff, I shoot what I shoot, and then I look at it all at the end and then piece it together how I see fit.
I want a little bit of your insight to cameras.
Okay.
So there's a lot of cameras right now. Some I feel like, do you feel like any cameras are played, you know, like are you looking at like Super 8, like not Super 8 again? Or, you know, do you have some sort of cameras that you fuck with? Like, or do you like everything?
I like everything, and to me, through my learnings with filming, editing cameras, and post-production, like it really doesn't matter about the camera. Like it really doesn't. You can, if you learn all the dope tools in post-production, like you can make your stuff look like however you want it to look. And I think like Volcom Vico films were a huge inspiration for that. Like they just would use anything and everything, even like sometimes some shitty cameras, or like the shot is so fucked up, but they just use it, you know? And I thought that was the sickest shit. I was like, they know how to turn shit into gold, like no matter what. It's, you find the right song, the right moment for it, and it'll work.
Is it Cocard you have at the beginning of Knights of the Brown Table where he's just kind of floating on the screen and then he does like a method?
Mm-hmm.
I loved that.
Yeah.
You just get rid of everything, and then I was just like, this is so sick.
Yeah, I could have done a little bit cleaner on
No, that's why I liked it. That's why I fucking liked it.
It was kind of shitty a little bit, but I don't know. For me, I like that sat there for a long time, and I was like, all right, does it still sit well for me? And I was like, yeah, this sits well. It's just something. It's its own thing. So, but yeah. Little things like that are always fun to just create in the edits.
As far as, I mean, know that you said you're proud of the piece, Knights of the Brown Table, but just as somebody who hangs out and talks to a lot of snowboarders, I feel like a lot of people really liked that film. Do you have one section or a part by an individual that you were like, this one's, it was a little bit more special to you than the rest, for whatever reason?
Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, Kel's for sure, just I think with the relationship I've had with him. I mean, he's like my oldest friend in that whole video, and just seeing him come out and like just film that part for the video I was making under Brown, and just wanting to be a part of it meant a lot to me. And same with Cocard too. Like Cocard's second song, where it really slows down into this like dreamy Baker section, like that one connects super hard with me. I don't know why. The like whatever it invokes in me, like it just is so beautiful in my opinion. And then Gabe's song to the Action Bronson was just like, I fucking love this. Like the flow, Gabe, the lyrics, like it was just, I was like, this is it. And it's funny, like Ian Bull, he was like, I don't like this song. And I was like, that's fine. I was like, I don't care what you think. I was like, this is my favorite fucking, like one of my favorite songs in the edit, you know, like I'm keeping it. He's like, all right, cool. Because Ian's great. Like he's one person I always send my shit to. I'm like, what do you think of this? Because he'll be brutally honest, and he has a lot of great input. Sometimes input where I'm like, God fucking damn it, like I don't want to do that shit, you know. And then I do it. I'm like, yep, he's right, you know. And I learned that from Hosnick a lot too, like working with him. And sometimes you got to just push yourself and like overthink a little bit to like try different things and see what works and what doesn't. Because I can definitely be lazy at times. I'm not gonna lie, like. I don't know.
Everyone can be.
Yeah.
You also want to like we were saying earlier about like taking in too many inputs.
Yeah.
You know, like you spoke there about maybe making a film where you weren't taking anybody else's 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when you have too many people giving you ideas and inputs, at one point it becomes counterproductive rather than like productive. I mean, you do want to know if you're hitting up Ian and Justin Hosnick, you know, that's great. But if you let all of the homies who film for the movie come in and you're like, hey, all 8 of you, give me your feedback. Like that might be one of those things where you're like, fuck, that wasn't the greatest idea. Now I have too much fucking things.
Yeah, no,
around.
I mean, I've learned through those group sessions of like when to be like, no, we're not changing that, or like listening to their input actually, and how to like incorporate that, you know. I'm pretty like set forth on my vision and how I want it to be, but I try and let them choose this, you know, be stoked on the song, be stoked on the choice of shots that we're using and things like that. But for the most part, that's what I ask them, and then I do my best to piece it together how I see fit. And then, yeah, everyone was pretty down. Like Blake's the only one, like I said, it was actually really sick. He came over one day and he's like, can I just sit down and edit? And I was like, yeah, go for it. So I like made him a whole new sequence, copied it, and I was like, do what you want to do. So he went through what I had edited and then did his edits, and then I went back and went over his and fixed what I saw, what I thought should be fixed. And then he was like, I love it. I was like, great.
Sick.
And that was the first time I've ever done that with like a writer, like have them fully sit down on the computer and just like go to
He's
town.
particular for sure.
He is
eh?
particular. Yeah, I mean, he knows how to do it. He's really good at filming and editing, like all the B-Prody production stuff, you know. So yeah, he knows what he has a good vision, good eye. So it's fun working with him.
Are there any riders that you haven't filmed with that you would love to film with? You know, like, you know, I know you got you're filming some of the best right now. You got Jer, Baden, you know, Parker Zamowski. You go down the list. You're filming literally like one of the heaviest rosters, but there's a lot of other pretty standout boarders right now. Is there anybody else that you would be like, I would love to fucking film that person?
Yeah, no, I mean, these days, I've started to film with Cannon a little bit. Like he was in Japan with us for a little bit. He's a really fun one to shoot with. I like his vibe and his demeanor. And I mean, yeah, he's just such a ripping boarder. Bryn would be one that I would be super stoked to go out with. Like his last part in the Megafauna video, I was like, is it Megafauna? Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Like that shit got me so stoked. Like everything about it.
He picked that song, and I remember Rusty being like, I feel like old Rusty would be like, oh, that's a little too heavy, Rusty. Like, this bangs. We're using this song.
So good. Everything about it, the trick selection, the music, like the personality, and I was just like, here we fucking go. This is like some shit we need, you know? Like, it's just so refreshing for me.
Especially coming out of Whistler. There's been I will call us out. There's like definitely like a formula and a look that comes out of this town pretty consistently, myself included. And Bryn being like just he's a character, you know what I mean?
He's like he pulls you in, you know, and that's what I like. So and then him, and then if we were going streets, I've always wanted to work with Gesme, Tommy. Like I've always just been a huge fan of him and just love what him and Colton have always done. I'm like, it'd be so fun to like work with those guys and just do some street shit. Because I still love filming the streets. I just mainly shoot the backcountry nowadays.
Dude, a Bryn and Tommy Gesme, that's it. Just those two would be the best film you could possibly make.
I've never met Bryn. I may have met him once at Mammoth when him and Jack were there for the World Quarter that one year. But just like, hey, I'm Brock, hey, you know. But yeah, just Tommy's vibe is the best. He's so fucking funny. And it's all about just the people for me. Like I've had many opportunities where I could have like filmed for something else. And it's just like, for me, it's the group that matters the most. Like, where do I want to be and like expend my energy and like do all this with, you know? So
if I was a writer and I really wanted to film with you, how would you go about making that happen? You know what I mean? Is there a way?
Just to me, just be you and do your thing. And if it's meant to be, our paths will cross and we can make a video or like work together. You know, I don't know. I mean, also I just never know too how long. Like I love doing this shit too. Like I love filming and editing, but I'm just always wondering too. Like I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this. Like. Shane Charlebois, like how he's just still pushing it these days. I'm like, it's so respectable. Like it's insane. He is a fucking workhorse. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. I just also kind of wonder, like sometimes I do wonder just unless you have a spot at a brand, it's pretty hard to kind of be like, all right, navigate these waters of like producing a project or getting enough money and funding to do it and this and that. So that's another part of it too. Is just like, all right, what can I do and where can I utilize like my assets of what I know to do. Do
you have to like make a pitch deck at the beginning of the year and stuff, or like how is the starting point for you to like make one of these films?
Yeah, like Knights of the Brown Table, we did a big pitch deck. Jake Price, Ian, and I worked on it quite a bit. And you know, I don't even know if really the effect that they have. I don't know. I have no idea these days, because really it's like, I feel like most people aren't even going to fucking read it or look
You're
at
like
it.
tier 3. They're like, never got there.
Yeah, no. So after the first year of filming for that, I made an edit, like a 5-minute edit. And so I started sending that to brands instead. And I was just like, here's some highlights from this past winter. We're going to film again this winter. This is what here's what we're working towards visually and everything. And that seemed to help a little bit more, I think. But even still, sometimes they don't even like watch those edits if I send them stuff to like kind of showcase what we're trying to accomplish.
You mentioned there like that if somebody wanted to film with you, it would just kind of have to happen, or like, you know, if it happened, it happened. Do you believe that you're kind of like there's a path that's kind of laid out for you? Do you feel at any time that you're kind of getting dragged in one direction or another?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have kind of a predestined path a little bit, you know, that's my belief. I think we kind of come and choose a general line, so to speak, you know, but I mean, we have free will. And I think no matter what choices we make, it'll eventually course correct onto that line, whatever that line is. I don't know what that line is, but I do think, yeah, we kind of have like a little pathway for our life.
Let's say if you weren't snowboard filming next year, do you have a rough idea of where you would fucking, you know, try to fucking...
No, I don't. I have no idea.
Does that stress you out, or you're just you are very like just go with the flow?
Yeah,
see what
I
happens?
think it stressed me out maybe a little bit ago, but now I'm just like, I don't know. Lately, I've really kind of let go to the control aspect of things in life, and it's been really fun. Just like, you know, jumping in the river and laying in it versus trying to like swim up it. So I've been doing that more so lately, and it's been really fun. And yeah, whatever, if there's something that else needs to come, it'll come, and when it does, I'll know, and I'll be stoked and inspired, and like can pour all of my energy into that.
I feel like I put so much emphasis on like trying to control things that are out of my, you know, wheelhouse, or or just out of like, you can't control them.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm somebody who's just like, you know, I set a path and I'm like, and that's the roadmap. And it's like, bro, nobody ever gets to follow the roadmap they lay out. You know what I mean? You spend countless hours like mapping it out in your head. And then literally the next morning you get up and you're like, oh, your truck's broken down. So your little plans that you had for the next day, they're derailed. And then the domino effect. And you're like, fuck, why do I, like, you obviously need a little bit of a North Star to know where you're fucking kind of going. But I feel like that's kind of maybe the answer is just to lean into the North Star and let the rest just fall into place.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, it's kind of like what I did with filming and editing. Like, I really didn't have a set goal of like, that's what I want to do. It just like,
no way.
Just kind of flowed. Like, yeah, I was interested. I wanted to make videos and stuff, but it wasn't like, this is like what I want to like do with my whole life. Necessarily. I was just like, I like filming, I like snowboarding, I like skateboarding, I want to just like create this, and then yeah, just kind of blossomed and turned into all of this.
Outside of snowboarding, skateboarding, filmmaking, and going to Japan multiple times a year, what other interests do you have right now outside of that space?
Right now, yoga's been a big one for me.
No way.
Yeah, I've practiced a lot of yoga.
Do you know like a name of a move or anything?
Oh, I mean, yeah, sure. Crow's a move.
What's a crow?
It's like you're on your, I'd have to show you. It'd be a hard one.
Crow's a move.
Yeah.
I don't know crow.
Okay.
What intrigued you about starting yoga? It's probably a sore body or whatever, but what has kept you there?
I like what it's done for my lower back with the core strengthening. It's really helped my lower back issues go away.
No way.
And then on the mental aspect, yeah, it's just the shit. Like, I go into the hot yoga rooms, so I don't know. For me, it's just really nice. You're just chilling, breathing, relaxing. Can have nice like meditative moments in the classes, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just like it.
Do you wish that you opened the health yoga chapter earlier in life, or?
Whatever. I think it all comes to you when it needs to, but yeah, I love it. I've been doing a lot and just kind of focusing on, nice mental, physical wellness and all that stuff.
I mean, what are some elements that you're studying with this? Like, if you're doing yoga and stuff, typically, sometimes people work on their health outside of just yoga, maybe eating and stuff like that. Has that whole realm of health been something that you're like, I'm trying to fucking get better at that whole wheel?
I mean, I had to get on that tip just naturally because I have gout. So I've had gout since I was a young 20s, which for those of you who don't know, gout is like a type of arthritis. Your body doesn't know what to do with this stuff called uric acid. And when you have too much of it, it goes into your joints, usually like my foot, my ankle or my toe. And then it crystallizes, hardens, and expands and just like inflames your foot. So that stuff sucked. Like that made me figure out a lot of diet stuff. So that was just forced upon me.
Blessing in disguise,
Yeah,
I would say.
great blessing in disguise. For sure.
Has gout given you any limitations to life, or have you ever had to say no to certain things? Like, did it get kind of out of control at one point? Was it because it can be? One of my good friends has it, and it's definitely pretty painful.
In 2020, I had a gout attack that lasted 2 months. I was on like crutches for like a month. It was fucked, and that was the turning point where I was like, I have to figure this out. I like can't. And I had been to the doctors before. I had tried some things, this and that. Nothing like really did anything. So. For anyone who suffers with gout, I don't know, maybe this will help you, maybe it won't. But for me, I went on Reddit and just searched the gout forums and read so much shit. And I found this one guy's story. He was like, hey, this is my like story with gout. And he was like, look, just remove all processed foods, processed sugars, like all seed oils, this and that. Like you can eat steak, just make sure it's grass fed. Stick to whole foods, just real food, just remove anything that's not a real food from your diet and you'll be fucking good. Anyway, so I was like, all right, I'm going to give this a go. So I went and bought steak and broccoli for 3 days. And after just one day of eating steak and broccoli, the next morning, the inflammation went down so much in my foot that I was able to walk again. And so then I was like, oh shit, maybe this guy's onto something. So then I just did more research and like into food and everything and like what was actually in stuff and the ingredients. And I was like, oh yeah, our food system's fucked, And then, I've been like, since 2020, I would always average 3 to 4 gout attacks a year, and they would last like 7 days each. Since 2020, I've had like 4 gout attacks, and they've lasted max like 4 days. So for anyone who is struggling with gout, just lay off the fucking sugar and also beer. Beer, shellfish, those are like my triggers. Sometimes I think a person has to find out what is their trigger, but beer, shellfish, processed sugar, high fructose corn syrup, that stuff is brutal.
I mean, as somebody who's diagnosed with clinical migraines and seeing specialists myself, they're like, yeah, so like what we want you to do, we're going to get you to try this really crazy thing. It's insane. We're going to get you to try this thing called eating real food. And you're like, what the fuck's that? They're like, yeah, it's called Whole Foods. It's just like the food, you're going to eat an apple and broccoli and a steak. And then same thing with me, like drastically. Yeah. What a big shift. And then you're like, oh, so you don't want me to eat like sunflower seeds that are coated in fucking whatever that shit's MSG. Mm-hmm. That was a big trigger for me because I'd go on these road trips and I would crush a bag of sunflower seeds. And then all the other just shit that like, we just don't have any shit in the house. You know what I mean? Good. Like, which is great because a lot of the things that have like 500,000 ingredients in them clearly aren't good for you. But here's the thing. I also like to go to a fast food joint every once in a while. You know what I mean? I like to treat myself. But if the thing is that you're fucking treating yourself to too much fast food, you're going to get fucking gout and migraines.
Yeah. No, it's true. Like everything in moderation. Because, there are times like I still don't eat fully clean because it's hard to do that all the time. But as long as you're generally eating a clean diet, you're fine if you're eating some other garbage here and there. It's not a big deal.
It's wild. If you have health issues, what do you know? Just fucking
change your diet.
Just have an apple. Just have an apple and change your diet a little bit. But
that's true.
You have a dog. I know you're very close with dogs. I feel like you love dogs.
I do.
What do you think dogs have taught you? I feel like that as somebody who just got a dog, I feel like it's drastically shifted my life in ways that I never would have known if I didn't get a dog.
I think I don't know. From what I've learned with dogs, is just the endless love. Like, just they have endless love and joy. It's pretty impressive. And then also, I like how they can be comfortable with. For the most part, dogs, at least the ones I've had, are comfortable with whatever their environment is. You know, like you can take them somewhere new and different all the time, and they're fine. It's like not every dog. I'm sure some dogs spaz out, but like I don't know, they're good at adjusting to new environments, which I think a lot of humans can. I mean, myself included. Like I've learned a lot from that. Of just no matter what your external environment is, that everything's all good.
I like how we talk about on a lot on the podcast. You know, you're trying to like press the reset button. It's like you and your dog, like you leave the house and come back. It's like that whatever. Well, they never have tension towards you, really, but it is wild just how every time they see you, when you walk in that door, they have no ulterior motives.
Yeah,
They just wholeheartedly love and are obsessed with you. It's like one of the greatest gifts in the world to walk in a door and be like, your dog sees you, you lock eyes, and you're just like, whoa, this thing just fucking loves me, even though I am so flawed. But it doesn't even know that.
yeah.
You're like, oh no, I'm not good at all these things. Your dog's like, nah, you rule, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you fucking rule.
No, it's very beautiful. Like even if you're hard or down on yourself, like they will never be. You know, they are just there for you and have nothing but love.
They're the fucking best.
They are the best.
Would you recommend somebody getting a dog if they didn't know if they're like, what? I don't know if I can get a dog. I got a small place. Like, should I get a dog? I'm like, I think you should get a dog.
I mean, yeah, I think though your environment, like where you're living and your schedule for sure takes a big play, especially depending on the breed of dog you get. Like I have a border collie Aussie Shepherd mix. Like if she's older now, she's like 7, but you know, they need a lot of exercise and they have to have like something to do and a purpose. So
that was kind of a bad question because it is true. Like you can't just get a dog unless you have time for it and stuff. Like, you know, it's a full-time responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, it is. You have to take them on 2-3 walks a day. And then every time you do that, you press the mental reset and you come back to work and life and you feel better. So I don't know. Maybe you should get it anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Go with the flow. See what feels right.
All right. So we got 10 questions presented by Arc'teryx. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you to the Patreons. You guys make this whole thing possible. And yeah, thank you so much to everybody who supports the show. It means a lot, and make sure you check out our latest episode of Airtime TV. We got a heater coming out next week, or probably in 2 weeks now. Actually, I'm really excited to share this one. We filmed a couple bangers the other day, so make sure you tune in and subscribe and all that jazz. All right, favorite style currently and back in the day.
Oh man, favorite style currently. Well, back in the day, I mean, I gotta just kind of say Nico. Like, just, yeah, growing up on his stuff was insane. Style god. And then nowadays, I don't know, I also gotta say Keegan in there. I mean, Keegan's style is, you know, unmatched in my opinion. And then for today's age, I really love Bryn's style, like I said recently, and I love Nick Baden's style too, like just the power that he has and like the grabs and the tweaks and the pokes. I don't know, it's just very fun to watch.
Baden's good.
Yeah, yeah. I really enjoy his style.
Most naturally talented.
Oh man, that's a hard one. Honestly, probably. Blake. Like Blake is one of the most just natural, gifted, like flowing riders I've ever filmed and experienced in person. Like the consistency level and the precision is, it's pretty crazy to watch.
Yeah, I've got to witness it quite a few times now, and every time I snowboard with Blake, I'm like in awe of his flow approach. And just like overall relaxed vibes. Like it's not too stressed, but when he is strapped in, you can see that he's clearly clocking in because like and he has the tricks that he has them so on lock. So it's so fun to be like, like, I'm gonna ride down the ridge and then try this like back 3 melon to crippler to fucking frontside 7 melon. You're like, this is gonna be your first try. And then he does it first try, and you're like, wow.
Yeah. No, it's
What a
pretty
wizard.
impressive.
Favorite clip you've ever filmed,
Oh man.
or one of your favorites, because maybe we'll make it a little bit less like intense.
Yeah. One that just kind of sticks out into my head right now is we went to where was Keegan? Oh, Kingston, New York. Keegan was doing school out there, and we went out there for a little street trip. And he just had this spot. It was like that big corrugated tube that him and Stacks hit. But that front one switch press he does, I was like, to me, I don't know. It's been a while since he was like in the streets kind of, and just like that's what he did when he hadn't snowboarded in a long time. And I was like, God damn. That was just so good. Like, no one does that trick very much anymore these days.
No, I would say there's probably been 3 good ones ever done.
Yeah.
And on the top of my head right now, I know I'm drawing blank. Someone has a good one, but everyone who does front 180 switch nose press 180s, it's either crooked or something about it was off. And I love that you bring up that clip specifically, because when that clip, it blew I was like, you're fucking kidding. Like, he still got it like that.
Yeah.
Like, that was like vintage Keegan. And then the back 270 he also has in that film. You're just like, dude. And
I like you said vintage Keegan, because when he did that, I was like, wow, this is just like back in the day kind of a thing. I was like, that was just so sick.
yeah, that was some like, what video? Oh, yeah, like In Color Keegan or something like that. Yeah,
he does that half cab to like regular nose press on that one reel, and that shot's insane.
I mean, we could go down the list.
Yeah,
The half cab under the duck, the fucking yeah, that was a great one. Favorite snowboard video of all time?
Damn.
You are a filmmaker.
I know.
There's a lot of pressure.
I think one that I have many, but the one that had like a really big impact on me and like how I started kind of finding, I guess, my style of filming and editing would be in Scramble.
Damn.
Yeah. It was funny. Like I went to the premiere for that when I was young. I don't even know what year that came out, but I was in high school still. And I walked out of the premiere like, what the fuck was that? You know, like I just didn't get it at the time. Like it just went over my head in my youth. And then as I started getting into more filming and editing, and as I watched that video more and more, I was like, holy shit, this is like pure magic. You know, the flow, the vibe, the aesthetic, the whole creative art direction. Like, yeah, that one was that one, and like, honestly, all the Vico films. Like, I know Ryan Thomas did in Scramble, and then like Jake came in and did 9191, but like that was another huge one for me. 9191. Yeah. And sorry, I'm gonna just say 3 now. IR77 as well. That was a huge one for me as a kid. I remember seeing the first time in Milo and just like, wow, what am I watching? And then like I studied that video a lot. Like even the audio bits that Jake did of just people talking randomly over like the snowboarding. I was like, this is so sick.
Dude, well, fuck, good picks.
For me, those
picks.
were ones that really like shaped how I wanted to like kind of show snowboarding in certain ways. And I mean, it's, you know, I have a wide array of like vibes I feel like I put into my videos, but those were just very influential for me.
Yeah, Tyler Laporte's part, like, dude,
it's
Austin Smith.
Yeah.
IR77 was like a crazy one for me because there's a lot of my favorite greats, and then this new kid, Austin Smith. I was like, who the fuck is this kid?
Especially to that song. The song was just so on point, and like, yeah, that movie's amazing.
Do you have a standout clip? You picked a Scramble and then a couple others, but like, do you have a couple clips in a Scramble that like stood out to you? And maybe 9191, like maybe one or two?
I mean, in Scramble, that just opening Baker shot on the chairlift, like I was like, what the fuck is this, you know? And like all black and white, the whole opening section, I was just like, this is so sick. And then fucking it's Terrier does that like launch off of kind of almost a pillow, and then just like hockey stops into like the wall, like he's a wall tree. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. It's just this like nice ollie, and he's going towards this tree, so he like hockey stops at it, and like so he can turn away from it. It's just the sickest shot I think ever.
Sick. All right, favorite band. I know you're a big music guy.
Yeah. I mean, Ween's always been a big one, but you know, I people might give me so much flack for this one, but I'm a big Kanye fan. You know, love his. You know, he's always not on point at times, but what human is, and yeah, I think he's good artist, great artist. I like what he's just a funny individual as well, but yeah. People might not like that one very much.
I love it though. This whole episode, if there's one takeaway, it's kind of like, dude, the whole world is kind of like afraid. Like some people in your shoes are probably like, Kanye is kind of like controversial right now. Like I shouldn't say his name. It's like, dude, yes, you mentioned that he's flawed and sometimes he's wrong. But like as an artist who's creating music, has he made good music?
Yeah,
it's like, dude,
he has. And I mean, yeah. Whatever, that's a whole other
imagine being that far into the public eye though, where like media create, like, you know, he's not often speaking for himself, and so people create like based on what he's saying. A lot of times you can take a snippet of what somebody said and it can feel, or like if you take an hour-long conversation and then you squeeze it into 30 seconds, you can condense that and consolidate that in ways that people are like, what?
Yeah,
like,
out of context.
Yeah, out of context.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes I've seen stuff of him that I feel like is out of context. Sometimes I feel like, dude, like, I don't know, if with that kind of fame too, you got to wonder like what that like does to one's like head, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. No wonder sometimes he has like a godly complex.
Yeah.
Which he also could just be like off camera being like, that was a total joke and everybody bought into it.
Yeah,
you know
have you
what I
ever
mean?
seen
Like,
the Genius documentary? Oh, you should watch the documentary on him. It's fascinating. It definitely like opens up a new perspective on like him and like the shit he does. There is one part in there where it's like when he won the Grammys, he just like looks at his home. He's like, I'm just playing the part, dog. Something like that, you know, like he knows what the fuck he's doing. I think there are times when he's definitely off kilter. Like, you know, everyone has their ups and down moments, and of course his just get blasted for everyone to see. But
I've definitely had some low points in my life.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, no, it's
That if it was documented 24/7, people would be like, "Remember when Jody did this though?"
yeah. Well, that's the thing is like a lot of the world loves to preach about like giving people room to like grow and be themselves and this and that, but most of the time it's the opposite. I feel like you have to understand that people are going to make mistakes, even mistakes that you are not going to agree with, you know. But it doesn't mean that they're lesser of a person or that they're not trying, you know. Like we're all trying here in this world, and I think that's what we need to keep reminding ourselves is even when other people are fucking up, they're trying.
I always just think that if you constantly ask yourself if you're being a good person, like, and strive, just the snowball will like help the whole planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that maybe somebody has a negative day, but if you can be the positive, then you're shifting their snowball, and it's
Yeah.
like, you know, we all have bad days, but the day that you switch to a positive, like you're helping the world move in a general good direction. But everyone's positive doesn't necessarily align. You know what I mean? Some people would be like, that's not a positive though. That's where things get a little messy. I think.
Yeah, no, that's true.
One piece of life advice for the planet.
Life
For all of
advice
us.
for the planet. Oh,
For us
man.
humans here spinning on this planet.
I don't know. Probably some cheesy shit, but it's really just like, yeah, just try and find the part within you that feel like the feelings and emotions that feel right and what feels wrong, and like just try and do your best to do what feels right and like ignites you and like inspires you and makes you want to like open your heart to the world, you know? I don't know. And just try and like be authentic the most. I mean, you know, these are advice for myself as well. Like trying to do all those things as well, but advice for the world, you know, I don't know. Just, I don't have the answers, but I think it's best for us to just do our best to have a common understanding with one another, especially in this time of the world. Even if you don't like that person or really disagree with them. I think it's really important just to find a common ground and understand where they're coming from and why they might have set mindset that you disagree with. But I don't know. It's easier said than done, without a doubt, but I think it's a really important part for a collective society to move forward in a healthier manner.
What's one area of your life that you'd like to work on?
One area of my life that I would like to work on, it's like a therapy session though, huh?
You can be like, nah.
I don't know. Honestly, for me, what I've just been like working for is, like kind of just trying to tap back into my childlike self again, like really tap into that like euphoria you get as a kid where everything is just so new and exciting and you have so many questions and you want to like, you're just curious. That curiosity, like I feel like that's the issue with the world too, is like we do a lot of the times the world, like societal, it seems like they try and crush that spirit of curiosity and childlike mind, because that's where a lot of magic comes from, I think. So that for me personally, I'm trying to tap more into that.
I love where you went with that. I think that would help the world immensely if everybody was just a bit more excited and like, fuck yeah, like gonna be a sick day today, dude. Everyone that I know is like, I'm getting into that like 35 to 45-year-old friends, and everybody is just stressed out. Like, I got kids, I'm working, things to do, people to see, and myself included. And it's like, dude, it's important to slow down, but it's also hard to slow down when you feel like you're chasing something or something's chasing you and you're scared of certain things. And it becomes legitimate too. You got bills to pay, you got probably a family to feed or whatever. And so it's not that your feelings are not valid, but there is a certain amount of, if you don't slow down and zoom out and realize this is all kind of like a joke, so why not be a bit more like a kid? Like, because if you're too serious, I think that it might be a switch that's harder to turn off than you think.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people forget that. Is like, if you work so hard towards something and you're like, I need to be the driven, hardworking person only for a certain amount of time, and then I'll go back to who I was. I'm like, motherfucker, you're never coming back. Like, once you switch gears, like fully, like you got to realize that there is like enjoy who you are right now if you are a good person, because if you want something else, realize that can shift that can really shift things. Like I look at like parents and stuff like that I knew growing up and stuff, and you're like, you see the dad that was probably once having pretty fun with life, and it was 30 years of hard work, and he just never turned off. He's still just working hard and fucking angry at the world. It's like, dude, I don't know if that was the direction you wanted to lean into. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, homie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who's the GOAT filmer?
Like, I'm just going to say Shane Charlebois right now. He's the one that's sticking out in my head. The amount that he's filmed, like everything, even still to this day, and the energy that he brings to every day is very impressive to me. And I admire him a lot for that. Like, learned a lot through Shane. And I don't know. He's a fucking GOAT. I don't know if have you been around Shane ever?
I think I've met him once or twice at like a premiere or something, but obviously like super fan.
He's just the shit. And he, he's the one who popped into my head. So I'm going to say Shane.
All right. And lastly, who's the GOAT?
Just
the greatest of all
in
time.
Snowboarding or in life?
Maybe one life, one snowboarding.
Snowboarding GOAT. Oh man. Damn. Never really thought of that. I don't know. I there's a lot of greats, and I don't know. Fuck. I don't know why I can't think of an answer for these.
I kind of like that, honestly. It's a little bit exciting right now. Everybody normally is like, boom, their person.
Well, there's so many people that have contributed so many different ways and aspects. Like, snowboarding as a whole didn't necessarily we didn't get to where it is now by just one singular person. So it's and I mean, I could say that on every single question you've asked me, but greatest of all time, like I don't know, I like really am blanking.
I like with the filmer, you're like, Shane Charlebral.
Yeah, well, he was like, what popped into my head,
Yeah, I
just
like
like,
that.
who's one of the greatest filmers of all time that's like really done it and put in the fucking hard work and is like been still doing it. Like he like is one of the few of that. Like I don't know anyone who's like filmed as long as he has necessarily that's still like in this world.
Do you want me? This is rare. We've never done this.
Yeah.
You want me to pick your goat?
No, you don't need to pick my goat.
I'll do it if you
just
want.
like a hard one. I'm gonna say Shelby Menzel.
Damn.
I think it was. I mean, he's like. That's a rogue answer, but for me, he had such a huge impact on me. Like his videos, his work, like Love, Hate, and Burning Bridges were like, I could not stop watching that shit. And just like trying to understand how he got his footage to look like that and this. And I also kind of like that he didn't come from the snowboard world at all. He was a skateboard homie from the Milo Sports Shop, like just made skate videos. Mikey, I don't know the story. I'm guessing Mikey really liked his aesthetic and wanted him to do it, asked him if he would. So he came in, did the 2 videos. And he's like, dude, I fucking hate like filming snowboarding. So I'm out of here. And he stopped, you know, but like think of the influence that those 2 videos had coming from like that. Like think of the domino of ripple effect from that, at least for kind of our generation.
Dude, Nate Bozung, Matty Ryan.
Yeah, so I guess I'll have to just kind of throw Shelby out there. Like I don't even know Shelby at all, but like that's what popped into my head, so I'm gonna just say that.
A skateboard filmer who made 2 videos and bounced, who didn't really snowboard, is your goat. And we love it.
People
And
are
we
probably
love it.
like, fuck this guy. He doesn't even snowboard. But it's like, fuck, you can't hate on someone who can like, yeah. If you hate on him, it's just because you probably, the influence was too much for you to handle. Because, dude, seriously, that's like, I mean, it wasn't just Shelby. It was clearly like Mikey and the Holden thing that they also were doing. Like, it was like a bigger picture, but, you know, the person who makes the visual appearance of it all, like, has a huge effect.
Love, Hate, or Burning Bridges?
Burning Bridges.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah.
I'm Love, Hate for sure.
I mean, I love, hate, but to me, Burning Bridges was where he's like, this is me. This is my defined style and aesthetic as like a filmmaker. And I love that. I mean, you still have it, but like Burning Bridges to me was just like he picked out all the parts he didn't necessarily like maybe with Love, Hate and just fine-tuned it so well. Like the MFM section to the Buena Vista Social Club is like will forever be one of the greatest like parts in my opinion, and like song editing, lifestyles, visuals. It's so good.
Do you have any other parts that you think are magnificent that you want to?
Magnificent parts. Yeah, I mean, there's like Eric Messier and One Love. That was a big one for me. Fucking repeat nonstop with that one.
That switchback one in that part I could watch forever.
It's absurd. Like it's the sickest shit I've ever seen. And then to the Easy song, it's so good. Yeah, that one's I don't know. Those are the ones that are coming off the top of my head right now.
That was so sick. Any last words? Any shout outs?
Yeah, no, thank you, Jody, for having me in airtime. I really appreciate you sitting down and let me chat with you. This has been really fun. Thank you to just everyone that's been in my life from this snowboard world and filming, like all the people I've been able to meet all around the world and like all the beautiful friendships that have come from it. And just like, yeah, anyone who's just supported, like believed in me and what I've wanted to do and like have tagged along for that journey. Like just, I love everyone immensely and yeah, very grateful.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible for me to describe my gratitude towards your approach to this camera. Like you picked up this camera, you filmed some of my favorite movies of all time. You helped, I think really helped push snowboarding in a direction where it needed to go at a really important time. And there's been filmmakers that have done that before, but collectively over the like 10 years or so, it was longer actually now, like 18 years since the second BOZWRECK to now, like almost 20 years of these films. And you know, that kind of dedication on the back end needs to be celebrated, and I really hope that snowboarding and anyone at a brand that needs an incredible snowboard movie made that will represent snowboarding and the individuals, hit this homie up and see if you're lucky enough to work with them. 'Cause clearly it's about the people before anything else, so you'd have to have a lineup that you'd want to work with. But I mean, truly, I don't think that snowboarding would look and feel the way it does right now with you and a bunch of the individuals you brought up there. Shane, the list goes on and on. So to all the people on the back end, like I said at the beginning, those team managers, those filmers, those filmmakers, editors that do put in like 10, 15, 20 years, like you genuinely have made snowboarding what it is on the side that actually matters, at least to me. You're a representation of the DNA of this, and I think that you can hold your head high if you quit tomorrow. You've made a masterpiece. Your last film is absolutely incredible. 20 years of digesting cool things in your life for that to all come to a head, and I can't wait to see this next project that you're making with Nick and Blake. Obviously going to be incredible, even if you barely edit it. It doesn't matter. It's just impossible for you to not do a good job. So thank you for your devotion to this craft. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for making all those films. Thanks to the brands that trust and give you money to make those. Like, big shout outs to those companies, because these films that I love that represent our culture would not happen without team managers that have a clue, like Alex Pashley, giving you budget and giving you that trust. So shout outs to those people, and shout outs to you for making us look fucking awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the kind words, and that means a lot. And yeah.
Well, snowboarding can look pretty cheesy pretty easily these days, as we can see. So
yeah, no, it can. And like you mentioned with Pash, it's like, rest in peace. Fucking, it's so important to have individuals like that in those places at these brands, people who actually understand and get it, like,
and are willing to push back.
Exactly, willing to push for like what he believes in the cultural aspect of snowboarding. Like, he fucking gave a shit, and it's super important to have those people like him and like Pat McCarthy at like 686. Like, these individuals are so important, and we need more people like that, I think, at a lot of these brands. Because that's how we can, like, kind of, I guess, find that disconnect piece maybe a little bit easier. And like I said, I don't know all the answers. I don't know business. I don't know, I know they have to do X, Y, and Z over there. But I just think it would be so cool to just kind of bridge that gap more with, I guess, brand support and, like, just helping the riders and their friends, like, create exactly what they want to create and not have it have to be under the brand umbrella.
Well said. Closing remarks now?
No, yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I went on another tangent there about that, but
no, I like
just
it.
following up to what you were saying. But yeah, no, thank you for having me, Jody. Appreciate it.
Hope everybody enjoyed this show. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.